Welcome to University of Arizona Wildcat Hockey. I'm Timothy Gasson. I'll be bringing you tonight's action, or actually this afternoon's action. Jackson Peters is on assignment. He'll rejoin the broadcast tomorrow. So I'm very pleased to bring in broadcaster Tom Callahan, the former voice of the National Hockey League, Nashville Predators. And Tom, it's the second game of a college hockey series between Arizona and Maryville. Arizona handled Maryville on Thursday night 6-1. Well, it's a chance for instant redemption in the second game of the series here this afternoon at the Tucson Arena.
Well, it is, Tim. And for the team that loses, there's that motivation to come back out. And we can talk in a minute about the Maryville travel schedule that they had coming into this. But the flip side of that coin, too, is for UofA. That was a big 6-1 win. You don't want to get complacent. You don't want to look at these guys and go, we got this one. It's in the bag. You really have to be on your guard against that. Otherwise, you might fall behind early.
Well, once again, Maryville is a Division II ACHA opponent, and this is their very first year of operation. They traveled about 24 hours from St. Louis by team bus to Tucson for Thursday night's game, and it really looked like they lost their legs a little bit as that game went on, Tom. An advantage for them is they didn't play last night here against Arizona. They had a day off. They should be a lot fresher here this afternoon.
Bus legs are a very real thing. As someone who's traveled a lot in the minors, Tim, in my career, riding a lot of buses, absolutely, it affects a team, and it's hard to deal with, especially traveling that far. So right now, this Maryville team, with the day of rest, should be a little fresher, should be a little bit more ready to go, and should have more jump throughout the contest.
Now, Tom, you have a very long broadcasting career, have broadcast hockey for a number of organizations, including first-year organizations, teams that had to get themselves together in the front office and on the ice and then play their very first year. That's what Maryville is doing this year. Would you talk about how difficult it is to start from scratch and create a hockey team?
Everything you're doing for the first time, organizationally. And even if you have people who've been other places, have been a coach or a manager or whatever, you still have to draw the recruits in. You still have to get kids to play for your team. You have to come up with a system and implement it. That's really tough to do just coming into a season brand new. Nobody's ever done this before. So on the ice, you're putting all these pieces together and trying to see how they mesh. You're trying to figure out how your players and what your players can do. Can they play the system? Do you as a coach have to change it? Off the ice, you're putting together travel and hotel and all these other considerations for the very first time. Maybe you're doing a broadcast, maybe you're not. Maybe you're trying to sell some sponsorships. You have to figure out how to manage your budget. There's so much that goes into it behind the scenes, in front of it. Who's ordering the sticks, Tim? How do these guys get jerseys? These are all concerns. You can't run out of skate laces and tape in the middle of the year, and you might not think about that, but someone has to do it, and they're all doing it for the first time within this program. So making sure all those pieces come together and nothing slips through the cracks, it's a big deal.
Believe me, you don't know how complicated it is to put together a hockey team and go on the road, for instance, until you do it for the first time, getting all the personnel in place, getting all the stuff you need in place. Well, putting all that together is John Hogan, the head coach of Maryville. Wildcat fans will remember John Hogan, of course. He was the assistant coach here at Arizona last year, and before that, he was a player for the University of Arizona, scored a game-winning goal in the national tournament for Arizona, and of course, John Hogan's brother, Toppy Hogan, is this year's assistant at Arizona. So a great connection between Maryville and the University of Arizona. But that doesn't mean that they're going to take it easy, Arizona, on Maryville. And Maryville would like nothing better than to get the biggest win in their organization's life so far by beating the number 14 ranked Arizona Wildcats here in Tucson.
Tim, they already know, Maryville, that this is where they're going to be next year as ACHA hockey. They're going to be on par with this U of A team. So they don't want to show to kids they're trying to recruit, hey, we lost 6-1 to this team. They want to show that not only were they competitive, but maybe they notched a couple of big wins. And so and they really don't have much to lose at this point. It's, hey, guys, go out there, leave everything on the ice. We're putting it together, but boy, that could be a huge selling point. And I don't think you need a whole lot of motivation as a coach to beat your old school.
Well, and as Tom alluded to, Maryville will go up to ACHA Division I next year. They're a Division II team this year. They've already been accepted by the American Collegiate Hockey Association to run a Division I program next year. And this is a very young squad, maybe the youngest college hockey team I've seen in memory. Almost all freshmen, just a couple sophomores and a junior. This is a learning experience every time the Maryville Saints take the ice.
Well, the great thing I will say for the Saints experience is that it's trial by fire, yes, but in year 2, in year 3, especially for this freshman class, Tim, you can't replace that kind of experience because those guys can say, yeah, I remember a couple of years ago. They'll become the grizzled old veterans sitting around the fire telling the stories to the youngsters. But it's going to result in, I think, better leadership and I think better growth for the program as they can tell those stories a couple of years from now, Tim. And you know what? That's how you're going to grow your hockey program.
Now, on the Arizona side, head coach Chad Berman was saying before the game that great teams beat the teams they're supposed to beat. Arizona is supposed to win this game tonight, or this afternoon rather, a rare 1 o'clock puck drop for UofA Hockey. But it's how they beat Maryville is what Coach Berman wants to see. Now the Arizona Wildcats are taking the ice. Let's throw this down to ice level for the starting lineups. We'll have the national anthem and then we'll drop the puck before number 14 Arizona and the Maryville Saints. You're watching University of Arizona Wildcat Hockey.
University of Arizona Wildcats. Today, the Wildcats take on the Saints from Maryville University. Here's the starting lineup for the visiting Saints. Starting at left wing, number 17, Solon Shafara. At right wing, number 4, Dylan Carroll. At the center position for the Saints, number 9, Cole Mudra. At left defense, number 22, Trevor Hansen. At right defense, number 23, Dominic Matheny. And in the nets today for the Saints, number 1, Aaron Romeril. And the head coach of the Saints, former Wildcat, John Hogan. Ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for your Arizona Wildcats. Starting at left wing, number 10, Dawson Marshall. At right wing, number 27, Max Meyer. At the center position for your Cats, number 12, Chris Westland. At left defense, number 33, Wes Freiberg. At right defense, number 21, Devin Langelar. And in the nets today for your Wildcats, number 35, Nolan Bimelsick. The head coach of your Wildcats is Chad Berman. Assistant coaches Toppy Hogan and Shane Fossell. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise. Gentlemen, please remove your hats and face the south goal for today's national anthem, which is sung by Catherine Carbone.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of
Ladies and gentlemen, Catherine Carbone. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you could please have your attention towards the red carpet located at the Zamboni doors for a special presentation. The mission of the Ronald McDonald House Charities of Southern Arizona is to create, find, and support programs that directly improve the health and well-being of children and their families. Wells Fargo Advisors of Tucson and the University of Arizona Hockey Program have teamed up by making a $1,000 donation to the Ronald McDonald House Charities of Southern Tucson. On behalf of Wells Fargo Advisors of Tucson and Arizona Hockey, we would like to send an extended thank you to the over 90 volunteers who make this possible. If you would like to volunteer, please contact rmhctucson.org. That's rmhctucson.org. And ladies and gentlemen, your referee for tonight's contest is Victor Vizcaino, your linesmen, Justin Lang and David Johnson.
So, we're about to drop the puck here between number 14 Arizona and the Maryville Saints of St. Louis in the rubber match. As we mentioned, Arizona downed the Saints by a score of 6-1 on Thursday night. Both teams benefited from having yesterday off. So both teams should be fresh here for this afternoon game. You know, I was a little concerned, Tom, when I first saw the schedule that it was going to be a Thursday night game and then a Friday at 1 o'clock game, that really quick turnaround. That's not what we have. We had a full day off. Both teams had a full day off. I expect both teams to be fully charged here this afternoon.
Honestly, Tim, I think if you had gone back-to-back that quickly, that would have benefited U of A more than anything else. I think that would have benefited the Wildcats. But with the day off, Maryville does get a chance to settle in a little bit here and get their energy back. Obviously, we talked about how on Thursday, especially towards the second half of that contest, energy was an issue for the Saints. And so I expect that they're going to come out pretty tough to start things off here, and U of A cannot look past these guys, especially. I think the first 5 minutes, Tim, is the most critical part of this hockey game for me.
No, I think you're absolutely right. This was a close hockey game through the first half of the game yesterday. The second goal of the game that Arizona scored, a controversial goal that perhaps was kicked in, really changed the complexion of the game. And Maryville's energy really changed a little bit after that. As you said, let's see how the teams handle the first 5 minutes of play as we now are underway in the first period. Nolan Bivelsick in goal for Arizona. Aaron Romerl in goal for Maryville. And Romerl played very well on Thursday night, gave up 6 goals, but he has a very young hockey team in front of him. As the puck comes right in on him, he gobbles it up for the first save of the game. I don't think we can emphasize enough, Tom, just how young a hockey team, I mean, it's a first-year team, but they didn't go out and get transfers of juniors and seniors from other places. These are, many of them, St. Louis natives, and they're freshmen in college.
Well, and that's the way, Tim, if you want to build a program and do it with homegrown talent, which there's plenty of in St. Louis. And the Blues have been there since '67. That's a hockey city for sure.
It is.
But if you say to these kids, hey, we're going to go ACHA Division I next year, we want to grow the program beyond that perhaps, you can do it with a core of freshmen, take your lumps now, but in a couple of years you're going to have some really seasoned junior players.
Well, and the word is that Maryville will have their own rink perhaps as early as next year. So this program in a couple years when they come back to Tucson to play Arizona is going to be a formidable opponent. As you said, youth hockey, especially in St. Louis, is a big deal. There's a lot of talent in St. Louis, and we'll see if the Maryville Saints can develop that talent as the puck comes right out in the slot and over the stick of a Saint there. Could have been a good early opportunity for the Saints as Sasha Golikov had the puck go over his stick, but Arizona comes right back in to the Saints zone. Attempts to keep it in on the near side boards near the blue line. And they do briefly as Bailey Marshall tries to throw the puck into the slot. Comes back to Marshall on the near side.
We already got a penalty coming here, Tim, against Maryville.
Delayed penalty, so Bivelsick will head to the bench and an extra attacker on for Arizona. There's the whistle. Looked like the penalty was away from the puck. Arizona's going to have its first power play opportunity. I know Coach Berman, this is something Coach Berman was talking about, Tom. They didn't make the most of their opportunities, they thought, on Thursday night on the power play. They're already playing a Division II opponent, a man advantage. You should score a goal.
Well, and all around, Tim, this is to go back to your point in the pregame show about how they go about the business of trying to beat Maryville. You have to work on things. Your special teams, this is a great opportunity to sharpen that blade. Your 5-on-5 play, all of your defensive zone, offensive zone coverage. This is a great chance to work on those things. And with this first penalty here, Golikov in for hooking early. They've got to go to work.
2 minutes for hooking. Time of that penalty, 1 minute, 43 seconds in the first period. And it makes it a Schaefer Oil power play.
So Golikov in the box, 2 minutes for hooking. Arizona with the man advantage. As they move right into the slot. There's a nice shot there from Anthony Cusinelli in to the pads of Romerly. He makes another save. This was another thing from Thursday's game that looks like it's going to continue, Tom. Arizona outshot Maryville by a wide margin, like 3-1. Romerly sees a lot of rubber.
Well, and he's out at the top of the paint, Tim. He's making himself big, and right now they're burying it straight in the pads. They've got to do a little bit better job of the shot selection, get him moving a bit.
The Cats trying to go cross ice to Cusinelli, but it comes out of the zone. That's the kind of play that's going to be difficult against another ACHA Division I team school, going cross ice right in the middle of the zone. And Maryville's able to get it out, and we have a whistle.
Offside at the line there. Tim, to go back to Romerly a little bit, as long as he continues to stay big and gobble up those shots, they can pour 100 shots in on him. If they're hitting him square and he's holding on to those rebounds, he's going to make it a little bit easier on his D-court.
Well, and that's your point about how do the Arizona Wildcats go about playing this game and how they win it. The 6-1 decision looks good from Thursday night, and it certainly is good, but halfway through that game, it was a very competitive game, and Arizona certainly wants to play sharper as they get ready for one more game against a Division II opponent. That's tomorrow afternoon against the Grand Canyon University Antelope. 3 Division II games in a row here at Tucson Arena. In the oddest configuration of the season, we played Thursday night. We're playing 1 p.m. Saturday afternoon. We'll play 4 p.m. tomorrow. Puck drops 4 p.m. here at the Tucson Arena against Grand Canyon tomorrow as the Cats continue on the power play. I'll talk to the slot as the puck comes out for a rebound and goes over the net into the corner. That's where Ethan Stalyuth digs it out, tries to feed it in front. Marshall tries to feed it out in front as well, but it's defeated. And now down the ice, just 10 seconds to go on the power play for Arizona. They did not look all that sharp on that power play.
No, and Stalyuth probably had the best chance right there at the back door, but the puck hopped on him, didn't settle. We've seen that a couple times here early on, the puck not really sitting down.
Play continues on in the first period. We're just 3 minutes and 50 seconds in. Scoreless between number 14 Arizona and the Maryville Saints. You know, I always wonder about an early afternoon puck drop too, how that affects teams. Most teams are not used to playing and getting into their pregame routine, you know, at 9 and 10 in the morning. It's a different kind of thing. And so far, Arizona has not looked all that sharp.
Well, in Arizona, and there's a pass that misses by a mile. Back down it goes. Tim, it hasn't been very physical yet. We just had probably our first hit of the hockey game right there. The teams aren't quite engaged yet. And again, that's why this is a dangerous game for U of A, because Maryville can come out and, hey, one bounce, one break, and they'll lead this hockey game.
No, you're absolutely right, Tom. And Thursday's game was physical. Maryville did not back off from Arizona at all, even though they're a smaller team, as Cole Mudra tried to break in and the puck went off his stick, and now we're going to have a penalty on Arizona.
A slashing call there. Mudra with a sweet move inside out, the D on the near side, and got in. Again, puck rolls away. He doesn't execute the scoring chance, but draws the slashing call. So Maryville with a big-time early power play here.
So Jake Dickinson goes into the box, 2 minutes for a slash. We're just a little over 4 minutes into this first period, and here comes the power play opportunity for Maryville. Boy, that can be the great equalizer when you're playing a better opponent, the power play.
Well, and you know what, Tim? It's a well-known fact, and the more you have to kill penalties, the harder it is on you. It is the most physical thing you can do in a hockey game.
Slashing. Time of that penalty, 4 minutes, 48 seconds in the first period.
It requires a lot of energy. It's a lot of stop-start, a lot of back and forth, and there's an offside at the line. But I'll tell you what, U of A, as important as it is to try to get power plays, they need to stay out of the box too, because you don't want to give Maryville the idea that, hey, guys, we can hang around in this game, maybe a couple of power play goals.
Well, and I suppose how you look at this, Tom, is this gives an opportunity for Arizona to work on their penalty kill. Again, these games are not exhibitions. They count in the year record, but they don't count in the computer rankings for Arizona in the ACHA. They'll remain at number 14 after this weekend. Boy, you sure don't want to lose the game, but you want to work on the fundamental, the things that you're going to need when you get back into league play, which we will next Friday and Saturday night here at the Tucson Arena. You want to work on the things that you're going to need, and that's penalty kill.
Well, it is a little sloppy early here, Tim, whether or not that's a factor of the afternoon start. It's on both teams right now. But, yeah, you definitely want to get those things going. And it's simple stuff, zone entries, bringing the puck up ice, just getting the kill going.
Well, and again, a little bit of a mental error there. An Arizona player clearly over the line there. Chris Westland standing in the zone offside, an easy offside there. Arizona's made a couple of those kinds of errors. I think they're having a little bit of a hard time early in this afternoon really getting their concentration, I am too, and intensity together.
Well, they're almost through the penalty kill at this point, and if they can indeed get through this kill, maybe 5-on-5. Again, getting to simple things, get the puck deep. Romeril has only played the puck once out of a couple of dump-ins so far, so maybe you can end up retrieving it with a rim. It's all of those little things that the Wildcats need to work on.
Maryville taking their time trying to come up the ice, and Matthew Hull for Arizona sends it right back down to Romeril. Now just 30 seconds to go on the man advantage for Maryville. We're scoreless here. About 7 minutes into this first period as Maryville comes over the line offside. Not something you want to see at any level of hockey on the power play, coming over the blue line early. 25 seconds to go in that man advantage, so we'll have a face-off outside the zone. And Nolan Bivilsic, who is getting good work here Thursday and tonight, this afternoon. Well, I guess technically, no, it's the afternoon. It has to be after 6 p.m. for tonight. I'll get it right eventually. Is getting really good playing time in these two games against Maryville. Of course, Anthony Shuro, the usual starter for Arizona. Arizona, this is something you got to figure out too, Tom. Arizona has Riches in goal. Both Bivilsic and Shuro are starting level goaltenders. You're keeping a goaltender happy by giving him a couple starts here.
Well, absolutely. And you know what? There's never enough playing time to go around unless you're the guy who's out there all the time. So anytime you get him out is great.
Well, the puck goes over Westland's stick. That was a nice 2-on-1 opportunity. So Westland comes up with the puck again and tries to just dribbles in on goal there, bounces off some players. No clean plays yet for Arizona on the goal, but it comes back to Manny Rowe. He sends it down. That's a nice little shovel pass right into the crease. See what happens. It comes off a pad and comes out to center ice now. Manny Rowe, number 20 for Arizona, a great skater on this team, and he's developing his game now. Of course, now he's a junior. He's had a couple years, and he's a great example of a player, how they develop at the college level. He's a much more mature player than when he was a freshman, and he really relied on his skating to get himself out of trouble. He's developing into a fine defenseman as he throws the body right on the blue line. I thought he kept the puck in, but he didn't.
Well, Tim, to your point about player development at this level, just because a kid is 6'3" at 18 years old doesn't mean he's filled out that frame.
Right.
And we see that all the time in hockey, in pro sports, period, with prospects. As they become more of a man and leave that teenage, those teenage years behind, you see them fill out a little more. They get stronger. They also figure a few things out. You can't get away with things that you used to do when you were a teenager. You've got to eat differently, sleep differently, train differently. And that's all part of it, too. It's on the ice and off the ice maturation.
And Manny Rowe is famous nationally in college hockey. He has one of the best flows, one of the best haircuts, beards, and mustaches in college hockey. And I think he will wear that belt proudly, probably for his entire Arizona career. Manny Rowe, one of the nicest guys, young college hockey players you could ever want to know. As plays back on, as Bailey Marshall throws it out in front. But boy, there's a logjam of Maryville players just camped out in front of their goaltender, making sure nothing gets through there. About 8.5 minutes gone here in the first period. We're still scoreless. Maryville, the longer a team like Maryville hangs around, the weirder a game like this can get. They haven't shown a whole lot, but they've shown more consistency in their play than Arizona has so far.
Well, one thing they've done well, Tim, is they've doubled down to help out with loose pucks.
There's the puck down to Stalyuth, and he throws one up, and it bounces up and off. Cusinelli with good vision there to throw the puck down to Stalyuth, but we remain scoreless.
But they've tried to throw numbers at the puck, Tim, Maryville, and they're doing it again here in the board battle, that extra man. They burn the extra man going into the defensive zone and the offensive zone. They're supporting the puck well, and that's really hurting Arizona right now and their ability to set up chances.
Oh, and there's a shot from the blue line that goes wide. Arizona is able to get it out. Did they have a 2-on-1? Oh, they couldn't break Cusinelli with the puck there.
That was a risky play by Cant, but it paid off. If he didn't get that, Tim, 2-on-0.
Yeah, there were a couple times in Thursday's game where Maryville went for a little poke check at the pole. The puck just bounces right in on Romerl. He makes a good save there. Where instead of moving their body, they tried to poke the puck away from an Arizona defender on the boards, and it almost turned into 2 and 3-on-0 going the other way. You better be sure that your stick is going to hit the puck if you try that.
Yes, absolutely. And it's, even if you do make contact with the puck, there's nothing to say that it can't be knocked back past you again. So, yeah, you're playing with fire with that move.
Heading down to halfway through this first scoreless period between number 14 Arizona and Maryville. Cats don't have a lot of continuity going yet in their game. You know, sometimes in these afternoon games, Tom, somewhere close to the middle part of the first period, teams start to wake up a little bit and start to get their stuff together. Let's see if this happens for Arizona as the puck comes in on an ice on Maryville. You know, I think Maryville likes the pace of this game, too. It's a little choppy. It's not real fast up and down. Arizona's the stronger, faster, bigger team. I would think an up and down kind of game would benefit them. Maryville just wants to hang around and keep everything in front of them.
Well, and that's it. And keep the shot simple for your goaltender. Allow him to get to the rebounds. And you know what? If all those shots stay on the perimeter, then they're doing their job. And I think so far the Saints have done a real nice job of taking away lanes in the middle of the ice and getting in front of some pucks.
So the puck goes over the stick of Damian Karinji. He's the leading scorer for Maryville with 14 points in 13 games. So number 12 for Maryville is a player to keep your eye on for the Saints. But they're not generating many real chances on goal or much zone possession time, Tom. They're going to have to hold on to the puck a little bit here.
Well, and that's the thing is they're working hard in the defensive zone right now. They haven't had a lot of forays to the offensive side.
Because there's the puck that just kind of sits right on the edge of the crease. And there's some of the testiness that we saw on Thursday. Again, Maryville they're not intimidated about coming to Tucson, playing in the big arena, a Division I team. You can already see that there is a team feel built with this Saints team.
And again, that's only going to get better as they go down the road and this program grows in the next couple of years, Tim, with all these freshmen littered throughout the roster. But, you know, you mentioned there's only one junior, but it's the guy in net, and that also helps. Because he is an upperclassman, he can be a bit of a calming influence.
Well, yeah, to have your goaltender be the junior, the oldest guy, or the guy with the most experience on the team, so important because how many times have you seen teams, they really mirror the emotional stability of their goaltender. If you're nice and calm and confident in what you're doing, as Romerl gobbles the puck up there on the side of the net, that can translate to the guys in front of you. And this is why Romerl played a really good game on Thursday, and they were within a couple goals halfway through that game. It was because he played a really steady game. He made Arizona earn every goal that they actually scored, except for the second one that turned the game. A goal that was probably kicked in. There's nothing he could have done about it, but it counted, and it completely changed the complexion of the game.
Well, and, you know, Tim, sometimes, just to paraphrase, them's the breaks.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how it goes, and you have to learn to get through those if you're going to win hockey games or beat teams, but things happen all the time in hockey for you and against you. And so for Maryville today, hey, all right, so that was Thursday. Well, guess what? This is Saturday. It's a new game.
Well, here's an example of a player trying for the wraparound with the stick to poke it going the other way, Charlie James. He missed it, and it came into the Arizona zone. But no harm done as the Cats pick it up there, try to regroup behind their own net.
Well, we've got just under 8 to go in this first period. Still searching for the first goal, Tim, and I would argue we haven't had any grade A chances for either side yet.
No, I think you're right, and Maryville's doing a good job of really clogging up that slot area in front of their goaltender, keeping Arizona from just cruising down the slot with the puck, which they did a little bit on Thursday night. But Arizona does have it set up in the offensive zone. It goes wide. Cusinelli sends it in on net, but there's no one there to pick it up, and Romerell very alertly gobbles that one up. So 7:26 to go in the first period. We're still scoreless here between number 14 Arizona and the Maryville Saints out of St. Louis. As we said, Tom, a big youth hockey scene in St. Louis. As you said, they've had an NHL team for 50 years, minor league teams going back many decades before that. Hockey is very important in the St. Louis area. I think there's going to be a lot of talent for the Maryville Saints to dip into because they're the only ACHA team in St. Louis.
Well, and that's exactly it, Tim, as all their players have had to export themselves to continue their careers. Maybe now there's a homegrown option, and
That's
some
right.
guys are going to look for that.
Yeah, absolutely right. Well, they certainly have a guy, the right guy as the head coach to build a program like that, John Hogan, former Arizona assistant and former Arizona star player. 6:52 to go in the first period now. Still scoreless as Arizona's trying to move up ice. They do now. There's Ethan Stalyuth. Oh, he sends it over and he misses Cusinelli. Boy, if that puck is on the ice, maybe it's tapped in, but it was a little bit off the ice. Cats keep it in, however. Just Cusinelli just throws it toward the net.
And, Tim, that was a great example there. Henson kind of reached for the poke check, didn't get it, but also didn't get the body, and it led to an odd man situation going the other way.
So the Saints regroup, look for a breakup pass way up ice. But Josh Larson now has it coming over the blue line for Arizona. Back to Larson, and the puck doesn't go in the net, but the net comes off the net. Oh, and we got some stuff going on behind now. Again, Maryville not afraid to stick up for their goaltender. As Romerell just skates calmly away. They're not taking anything from any hockey team. Boy, I really like that kind of team feel that you get from the Saints on the road. They haven't had a lot of success so far this year. I mean, they're 4-10 on the year, but they've scheduled Division I opponents and have not been afraid to take their lumps to learn against playing against better competition, as it looks like we're going to have some offsetting minors here with 6:07 to go in the first.
And, Tim, when I was playing growing up, especially when I was younger, I always loved playing against the older kids. Didn't matter how old I was, I wanted to play against guys who were better, faster, stronger than I was, because I felt like that's how I would improve the most. And so I could see from a coaching perspective, a scheduling perspective, yeah, you want your guys playing against that next level. It raises your bar, your expectations, and your compete level.
2 minutes for roughing. Wildcat penalty on number 6. Josh Larson, 2 minutes for roughing. Both penalties at 13 minutes, 53 seconds in the first period.
So Fegans and Larson both gone for 2 minutes on minors.
And, Tim, 4-on-4 here, I would expect a little more open ice to favor the Wildcats.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
And maybe a little bigger team, but, the ability to use that open ice and try to get some scoring chances going here. I think the play that led to these two roughing minors, the coincidentals, was probably the best scoring chance of the game for U of A.
Well, and I would think that Coach Berman would say, if you're bigger, stronger, and faster, go out and prove it. 4-on-4, as you said, there should be a little bit more ice. And if you can move the puck with your superior speed, perhaps that turns into some opportunities, but we're halfway through these offsetting minors. And we're still scoreless here in the first period. So we have a whistle and an offside. And again, a little pushing and shoving. Well, we will have to see if Maryville has enough gas in the tank to keep up the physical sparring a little bit with Arizona. I got to think they've been talking about kind of reserving their energy a little bit. They ran out of a little bit of gas in the third period on Thursday night. You don't want to just hang close for half a game. You want to have something left in the tank for the third period.
Well, they've been playing pretty scrappy. I will say that. They're, and as you mentioned, unafraid. I mean, not a ton of big kids, but they are right there. They are physically trying to match up with U of A.
There's a wraparound attempt, and it goes in. Wraparound attempt by Keelan Ulnick. Arizona takes the lead 1-0 over the Maryville Saints. 4:44 to go in the first period. That was just a wraparound. You know, you try those to see if the goaltender's in the right place. Apparently he wasn't. It somehow got underneath Romerl. That's the kind of goal he can't give up if he wants to keep his Saints in this one. But finally, Arizona breaks through.
Well, Tim, Romerl tried to stop that with the paddle down on the near post, but his left pad was up. It was his right knee that was down instead of having his left knee down.
Give it to number 24, Keenan Olnick. The assist goes to number 11, Bailey Marshall. That's Olnick from Marshall. Time of your Wildcat goal, 15 minutes, 16 seconds in the first period.
If
he shoots, he scores, Tom.
Well, if he comes over with that left pad down flat and the right leg up, paddle down or no, I think he might stop that puck from going in. But that's a technique thing.
Oh, there's a poster. Puck bounces off the post right after Arizona scores their goal. We're still 4-on-4 here for the next 10 seconds. It almost looks like a power play. So Arizona's able to keep the puck in the offensive zone now up to the blue line. Keelan Ulnick with that goal. He had a goal Thursday night as well. A really good-looking sophomore. Boy, when Keelan Ulnick fills out a little bit, he's going to be a force on the blue line. 6'3", just 190 pounds. But his improvement over last year to this year is really significant. Just a sophomore, I really like Keelan Ulnick's game.
Well, here's another wraparound attempt. That one got snuffed out. But, Tim, that was the first shot where Romerl had to use a limb to stop it. Everything else has been buried in his pads.
Oh, there's a nice save there by Nolan Bivelsick. Biv holds his post there and makes the save that he has to make. You know, that's the kind of thing in a game like this. Romerl has to make the saves that he's supposed to make. He can't let in a bad goal. If Arizona comes in and has a screamer to the upper corner that no one's going to stop, that's one thing. But little dribbles around the net, just can't let those things go in. Just as I say that, well, the puck goes in the net. Arizona says that was hit with a high stick.
And I don't know that we have video review on this.
We don't have video review, Tom, but
I don't think that went off a Maryville player. I thought it hit a U of A defender. I thought that taking a swat at it but missing was Vigors, and I thought it was Mudra's shot that went in but hit a U of A defender and then dropped down and went in.
No, they're calling this a goal. I mean, I was saying that you have to stop the pucks that you're supposed to, and that's one that Nolan Bivelsick just lost, and it just kind of floated in because of the deflection.
Those are so hard to stop, too, in defense of the goaltender.
Oh,
Tim,
absolutely,
When
yes.
you're rising up for a puck that suddenly drops down to the ground, your momentum's already going up, it's almost impossible to get down to the ice to stop it.
Well, and that's why a goaltender is going to think that there's a high stick there because they see that puck change direction right at the last second in front of them, and they've seen a million pucks do that. They know it's usually a high stick and no goal, but that is a goal. We'll wait for the call on who they give the goal to, but we're tied up.
I think it's got to go to Mudra, because if they ended up crediting it to Vigors, then that means he made contact when he put the stick up in the air.
Yeah.
So it's got to go to Mudra. I would imagine. I mean, we'll see.
Well, there was a goal that was questionable in Thursday's game that changed the momentum of that entire game. Let's see if this goal changes the momentum of this game. Arizona not thinking it's a good goal, but it counts, and we're tied 1-1 with just 3 minutes to go in this first period. We're still waiting for the call.
Number 37, Kevin Gregory. The assist goes to number 9, Cole Mudra. That's Gregory from Mudra. Time of the Saints goal, 16 minutes, 29 seconds in the first period.
Well, if they're saying that was deflected in front, then that had to be a high stick and it shouldn't be a goal. I don't see how it can be a deflection, how they can give it to Gregory and have that be a good goal.
I thought it was Vigors who was in front of the net, though. 18, 37. I don't think was even near the net. They may have gotten the announcement wrong.
No, this is what happens with a 1 p.m. puck drop. Everything's
off.
Everything's a little weird.
Yeah.
Well, indeed, it's not weird for Maryville. They've got to be delighted with just 2:20 to go in the period to be tied with Arizona.
Well, exactly, Tim. 2:20 to go in the period. This is huge for U of A. How do they close this out? How do they respond to giving up the goal? They've really got to push the momentum right back the other way.
Still more than 2 minutes to go in the first period. Oh, and there's a heavy hit there by Damian Carnegie right at the red line in front of the two benches. As Trey Decker throws one in, and Josh Larson turns and wheels, but the puck goes wide. Cats are able to keep it in the zone, though. That's Justin Plumhoff with the puck. Comes in wide of Romerl. And here's where Romerl needs to come up big for his team. He can get that first goal back in a way. If he makes a save, that looks like it's a good opportunity for Arizona. That could really inspire the Saints team. As the puck comes into his Stalyuth. I'm sorry, there's Justin Plumhoff with the puck as it comes out of play. Nice little feather into Plumhoff, but he's not able to get it home.
That was a big save, Tim. You talk about those big saves. Romerl, that was his biggest stop of the period right there because it keeps it 1-1 with $1:26 to go. 2-1's a different hockey game, and then maybe going into the intermission. If Maryville can get to the intermission tied, then the energy stays there. If they give up a late goal here, the wind might come out of the sails a little.
Yeah, you know, the Thursday night, the second goal that was questionable happened just at the 1 minute mark of the period, too. And that's really changed the momentum of the game. Well, we're heading up to that territory again, just 1:08 to go in the first period as Arizona tries to send it down low to Dawson Marshall, the brother of Bailey Marshall. 1 minute to go as Langelaar has the puck in the near side corner, throws it around, and now outside the zone. Arizona was going for a partial change there.
Not a good change either. Confusion on the bench.
That's one where you want to stay at the blue line and keep the puck in, but it doesn't hurt Arizona. 42 seconds to go as they come in over the line again. Max Mayer with the puck. Over to Marshall in the far side corner. Charlie James getting some playing time. Good to see Charlie on the ice. Charlie digs for it there. But it comes back down to the Arizona blue line. Just 20 seconds to go now in the period as Max Mayer comes in and he kind of dribbles in near the goal. Charlie James, lined up for a big hit, and he missed his man and hits the boards. He's okay. He parks himself right in the crease. Can the puck get into him? Charlie James is there. And the puck doesn't get through. Charlie James doing some good work there as the whistle blows to end the first period of play. Boy, if I'm a Maryville Saint, I've got to be delighted, Tom. We're all tied up 1-1, Division II Maryville and the number 14 Arizona Wildcats. Arizona's leaving the ice here, and they do not look pleased with themselves at all.
Well, and realistically, based on just on paper where you think these programs should be, no, I agree with that assessment. The problem here is, and Tim, you nailed it earlier, the longer you let a team like the Saints stick around, bounces, breaks, just weird little things can happen.
Well, you know, let's say Arizona isn't all that inspired to play a 1 p.m. game. Well, guess what? The Maryville Saints, they drove all the way from St. Louis. They're delighted to play a 1 p.m. game in a big arena against a good opponent. Let's see how Arizona responds. Again, another good learning experience for them. You didn't have a great period of hockey. How do you come out at home and play a better second period of hockey? I'm going to bet that's what Coach Berman is going to talk to his troops. So 1 period of hockey in the books between Arizona and Maryville. We're tied 1-1. Now stick around, Wildcat fans, because we have a whole intermission video package for you to see, and then we'll be back for the second period of play. It's Arizona 1 and Maryville 1. You're watching University of Arizona Wildcat Hockey.
Wildcat Hockey is back home. Save up to 20% with UofA Hockey's new Flex Pack options, with access of up to 12 UA games this season.
Your Arizona Wildcats.
Don't miss out. Flex Pack tickets are available at TCC box office or call in 791-4101. That's 791-4101. Supporting a UA hockey team just got easier with our new Flex Pack ticket plans. For more information, please visit ArizonaWildcatHockey.org.
I'm Timothy Gasson. They call me the AZ Puck Man. I've been following hockey at the University of Arizona for more than 30 years. And this is my Wildcat Hockey Report.
Welcome to the Wildcat Hockey Report. Let's send it over to Jackson Peters.
Hi, I'm Jackson Peters, and I'm joined here by the head coach of the University of Arizona Wildcats hockey team, Coach Chad Berman. And Coach, you guys are off to an excellent start this year. How important is that for you in a season like this where you have so many new guys coming to the team?
Yeah, I mean, I think you always want to get off to a quick start. I think it sets you up down the road, especially when you look at our schedule. We have got, the entire month of October. We're on the road here, so we prepared for that. And part of what we talked about was it's important that we get on a hot start while we're on the road. Hopefully, we're a team that hopes to be in contention for a conference championship come the end of the season. So if we can have a winning record on the road here, have them come back to our building in the backstretch here with all the pressure on them, I think that's a good situation for us moving forward.
And like we always talk about is this big, long month of October. You've been on the road almost the entire time. How has that affected your team? Has it given the new guys a chance to, bond with some of the veterans of this team? What are you guys doing to really mesh this team together on the road?
Yeah, it's been nothing but positive. We've spent a lot of time talking about the psychology of controlling your thoughts and what we can handle, and the guys have been excellent. The new guys, the veteran guys have been great, stepping up and really engaging with the new guys. And when you're stuck on a bus for 19 hours with a group of people, it's funny what you can come up with. We found out we're not very good at spelling. They had a rookie spelling bee that we didn't even make it through the 8th grade on. So the guys are having fun. We're having fun on and off the ice. It's a really close group, and I think it's showing. Every week we're getting a little better here.
And you talk about all this fun that these guys are having. Do you think that some of the new guys, the rookies, the freshmen, the transfers, are they bringing a little bit more excitement to this team, or do you think it's mostly the veterans that are bringing a lot of this energy to the season this year?
I think it's a little bit of both. We brought in guys who have winning pedigrees and are bringing a winning attitude, and I think you're seeing that. And I also think they're shooting a little bit of life into our veterans who are seeing what they're adding. And these guys had gone through the haul of pushing this program to where we are today, and it adds a lot of enthusiasm and energy into our room when you're winning. Obviously, it makes those road trips a lot easier. So we're just excited to be playing in meaningful games. And as we told the guys, the more games you win, the more important they become. So we're just enjoying the process and trying to keep our focus nice and short.
So these regular season games, you've been winning a ton, but the next home game you guys will have will be November 3rd against the NHL alumni team. And of course, this won't count towards the standings. You won't get any win percentage from it. But what is something your team can learn from a matchup against some NHL veterans?
Yeah, well, it's a great opportunity for the fans to see NHL players in our building here, and what a great showcasing of hockey for hockey out here in the West. Our players are going to learn a ton. I know last time we did this a couple years back, it's just they're so smart. It's the littlest things they do, jumping into pockets, reading plays in advance, and how well they play off the ice. I'm sure we'll find film that even show of them, and any engagement they can have with those guys is just bonus. But, it's going to be a lot of fun for everybody involved, including our players. I know they're looking forward to it as well.
I've been speaking with head coach Chad Berman. I'm Jackson Peters. That'll conclude this section of the Arizona Wildcat Hockey Report, but stay tuned as Tim Gasson will interview one of the newest additions to the Wildcat hockey team.
Welcome back to the Wildcat Hockey Report. I'm Timothy Gasson, and I'm with a high-scoring member, a new member of the Wildcat squad. This is Bailey Marshall. Now, Bailey, you're on a scoring tear. Early in the season, you're averaging more than a goal and an assist each game. Are you doing anything different this year to account for this high scoring? You've always been a scorer at the college level, but since coming to Arizona, you're really ripping it up. Are you doing anything differently?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm doing anything differently. I just think that I'm meshing really well with a lot of the guys in the team, and our power play has been really good, and that's where a lot of my points have come from. So it's just a lot of things the other guys are doing, and it's not all me. So it's definitely, I'm doing the same thing as last year, just getting lucky, I guess, this year so far. So
well, you definitely have some help on this Wildcat squad. Of course, you're a line mate with the All-ACHA All-Star Anthony Cusinelli. Now, you haven't played a lot of games together yet, but I can see an on-ice chemistry between you and Anthony Cusinelli. How do you form that kind of chemistry when you get into training camp with a new team? You're a transfer from the University of Central Oklahoma. How do you form that kind of chemistry with a new teammate, a new squad? Because it looks like you guys have been playing together for a long time.
Yeah, he's just a good player, and it's really easy to get in and start doing well with a player like that. We find each other pretty well. He's got a good shot, good release, so it's definitely helpful playing with him. And then some other line mates I played with, Stolly and Dungy, and just everyone's contributing. And definitely Cusinelli is a big part of our line, and it's definitely good playing with him. I'm having fun playing with him for sure.
Now, you've already been successful at the college level, and as I mentioned, you're a transfer from the University of Central Oklahoma, which every year has a very strong hockey program. Can you compare and contrast perhaps the offensive styles of Central Oklahoma and Arizona so far in your Arizona Wildcat season?
I'd say that this year Arizona is definitely looking better this year for us for sure, and it definitely looks more controlled in that everyone's just playing their role and stuff like that. And UCO is pretty much the same thing. Like, you just got to have guys playing the role that they're supposed to. You got to have the top guys scoring. You got to have the third, fourth line guys getting out there, banging bodies, and putting up a point here and there. So it's pretty similar this year, I'd say, to what UCO has been in the past, and I think that's why we're going to have a pretty good season ahead of us.
Now, of course, the Wildcats and Central Oklahoma play in the same conference in the Western Collegiate Hockey League. Both look like they're going to compete for the league championship, and they're going to have to play each other. Is that going to be strange to go back and play your former teammates at UCO, or does that go away once the puck drops and you're just playing another team?
Yeah, I mean, when I get there, it's definitely gonna be nice to see a lot of the guys that I was buddies with, because I still can't stay in contact with them and stuff like that. But I mean, once the puck drops, it's definitely game time. Like, I got something to prove. Like, I left a team that has a good record every year, and definitely they're gonna want to take one from me this year. And when we play them every time, so it's definitely going to be a grind playing them, but it'll be good to see some of the old friends there.
Now, you're not the only Marshall on this Wildcat squad. Your younger brother, is a freshman on this Wildcat squad. Now, we've had brothers before on the Wildcats, and usually they have an intense rivalry with each other. Each brother wants to prove they're stronger, they're faster, they're better than their brother. Do you have that kind of relationship with your brother, or are you more of a mentor to your younger brother?
Yeah, I'd say more of a mentor. I mean, this is actually our first year ever playing together, which is pretty cool. And I mean, we're on the penalty kill together, and we've been tearing it up on the penalty kill. But yeah, I'd definitely say he looks up to me a little bit, and I mean, I try and lead him in the right direction. But he's young, and hopefully he'll get there in his next couple years here.
Now, that's Dawson Marshall, the younger brother here. He's a couple years younger. So do you see yourself in him a little bit? Like, this was the kind of player I was, or the kinds of things that I had to learn as a player when I was a couple years earlier?
I'd say that we're just kind of different kind of players. Like, obviously lately I've been scoring a lot. He's more of a grinder kind of guy, doing well on the penalty kill. So he's just, like I said, like everyone's been doing, just filling his role, and that's just all that the team can ask for him.
We've been speaking with Bailey Marshall, the high-scoring forward of the Arizona Wildcats. We look forward to seeing you light the lamp again at the Tucson Arena, and we hope to see you here on the next Wildcat Hockey Report.
All right, welcome to the next edition of the Cat Claw Chronicle. We've got the captain of the University of Arizona team, and Anthony, go ahead, throw us out.
I mean, I thought tonight went well. I thought our first period wasn't that great, which was expected. We were living on the ice not too long here, but we knew they were going to come out strong, so I think we weathered the storm early and started playing well second, third period, and good teams found a way to win, so that's what we did tonight.
I didn't get a chance to talk to you after the season ended and you were starting to claim all these honors, but did you have like a suitcase full of stuff you had to haul back home for the summer?
No, I mean, it's always nice being acknowledged for your hard work, but the only goal I really want is national championship in March.
Absolutely, and you got a new line mate this year. Talk a little bit about Bailey Marshall and how it's been to play with him and his talent level.
Yeah, he's a game changer. Bailey's someone I've never had the pleasure of play with someone like him. He makes my game way easier. He finds me all over the ice, and he never stops working. So he's been making my life way easier, and it's been a lot of fun to play with him so far.
The early theme when I talked to Coach this summer was people were losing weight, except for one person. He didn't want somebody to lose weight. So tell me what he told you to do over the summer, and what did you do?
Yeah, I mean, the injury bug got me a little bit last year, so my off season was really focusing on gaining weight and more muscle. So I hit the gym pretty hard. I came back to camp, I think 20 pounds heavier this year. So I feel stronger on the puck, and I feel more comfortable out there this year for sure.
So guys tell me that 2 games into the season right now, and I asked Coach before the game tonight, I said, are your ears ringing from the pipes you've hit? Because I saw you hit a few up at Grand Canyon and haven't scored yet. So is Cusinelli going to score this year or what?
Yeah, I mean, I've been hitting too many pipes lately, like you said, but I mean, as long as we keep winning, that's fine, and the goals will come eventually.
Talk a little bit about the rivalry. You played in it last year. You guys won the Cactus Cup. You got it back down here in Tucson. Now you're battling for it to keep it. Always nice to start off with a win, but what was it like on the ice tonight?
Yeah, I think it was good for the new guys to kind of get adjusted to the rivalry. I mean, those games are always fun. It's always a packed house. We don't like them, they don't like us. So, I mean, if you can't get going for that game, there's something wrong with you. So, I mean, it was a good start for us, but we still have, I think, 7 more games against them. So we'll try to lock down the Cactus Cup as soon as we can, but it's going to be hard.
You know, as a hockey fan and watching the game like I do, I see a lot of games. What I've noticed over the last couple of years is the teams have decided to play more hockey instead of more of a rough and tough style, especially in the ACHA. Is that something you're seeing too, that there's more of a finesse game now, and you still play the body, but it's none of that after the whistle junk?
Yeah, especially against these guys. I think we're trying to stay away from the nonsense after the whistle, and as long as we stick to our game and not get involved in all the extracurriculars after every whistle, we'll be fine. And I mean, yeah, I think it's more of a skill game now than it has been in the past, which is fun for me especially. As long as we keep staying out of the nonsense, we'll be fine.
What's your role as a captain? What do you have to do with these guys, or do they pretty much police themselves?
Yeah, I think this group's way different from last year. I think our locker room has a better culture feel, and I think for me personally, I'm going to play the same I did last year and try to just lead by example and make sure the rookies feel comfortable and all the freshmen are in the place. And I mean, not much is going to change, but I'm excited for the job at hand.
Tell us a little bit about what you do during the summer months. What do you do to prepare yourself for another season?
Yeah, I mean, last season was mostly gaining weight, like I said, but men's league when I can. My junior team back home in New Jersey ran some summer skates, so I mean, it's more about gaining weight for me, but I was on the ice a good amount too.
So does coach call you and check up on you during the summer months, or does he pretty much just leave you alone?
Yeah, I think every day I talk to him. Couldn't get away from him, but all good stuff.
He's sitting next to us, folks. That's why we're able to go ahead and razz him a little bit. But let's talk and let's wrap things up with University of Arizona Hockey. When I say that, what does it mean to you?
I think we're a fast, tough team to play against. I think this program's on the rise, and it's exciting to see what we're doing so far. And we got a lot of work ahead of us, but I think we're going to be a national contender very soon.
You know, we saw the banner go up last year, and it's officially hanging from there now of Kelly Walker. And a lot of people say Kelly Walker and you have a lot of things in common. First of all, what do you know about Kelly from what last year? And secondly is, how prolific or how difficult is it to be that prolific in this league?
Yeah, I think the stats speak for himself. Points he put up was ridiculous. I don't think anyone's ever going to catch that. But
right.
In regards to me, I don't really try to think about that. I'm just trying to play my game, and as long as the team keeps winning, that's all that matters to me.
Anthony Cusinelli, we appreciate the time and keep it rolling. See if you can get a goal once or twice, okay?
Yeah, I'll try. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Your hockey team, your Arizona Wildcats. Tickets for Arizona Hockey are now on sale. Your hockey team, your Arizona Wildcats. Call 791-4101 for tickets now.
Welcome back to University of Arizona Wildcat Hockey. I'm Timothy Gasson. I'll be bringing you the second period of play this afternoon, along with Tom Callahan sitting in with us on the broadcast today. We have one period in the book between Arizona and Maryville of St. Louis. We're all tied up 1-1 as Maryville, the Saints, take the ice, getting ready for the second period. Arizona has not appeared yet. But we'll see if Arizona has a little more energy in this second period than they had in the first period, Tom. They looked like they were a little sleepy for this 1 p.m. afternoon game.
Well, Tim, I wonder what we're going to see out of U of A coming out for period number 2. If you're coach, do you go in and peel the paint? Do you go in and gently encourage, say, hey, guys, we really got to pick it up here this period, which, look, they still outshot them. They spent the bulk of the time, I think, in the Maryville offensive zone. But they've got to find ways to put another puck or 2 or 3 into the Saints' net. Otherwise, Tim, I mean, it's a 1-1 game heading into the second period, and that's great if you're the visiting team. But if you're the Wildcats, that's not what you wanted to see.
Yeah, I got to believe that Maryville is just plain delighted with how things happened after the first period. It's not like they played an incredible period of hockey, but they're all tied up with Arizona 1-1. And anything can happen. This is about where we were in Thursday's game, and then Arizona really broke it open as Maryville lost a lot of energy.
Well, and Tim, one of the things about this is they didn't have to play an incredible period of hockey. Arizona didn't force them to play an incredible period of hockey. They just, bottled up the middle of the ice. And, Tim, one of the phrases I like to use, I call it the cone of fire. If you drew a triangle out from the net, with the point of that triangle in the net, shots that come from within that zone out through the blue line are much more dangerous. And I think that what Maryville did was they took away shots through that cone of fire and forced things to the outside to great effect.
So getting ready to drop the puck, and the puck is down for the second period of play. We've switched ends of the ice as the puck comes right into the Arizona zone, and that's an ice just 10 seconds in to this second period. A lot of hockey to play here. Now remember, Wildcat fans, we'll drop the puck again tomorrow here at Tucson Arena. A Sunday afternoon game, 4 p.m. puck drop. That's Arizona and Grand Canyon University. A nice budding rivalry with Grand Canyon from the Phoenix area as they come down to face the Arizona Wildcats. That's tomorrow at 4 p.m. We got a lot of hockey right here as the shot goes wide to the near side boards here. Kevin Bird picks it up there for Arizona, getting some playing time. A freshman for Arizona. Throws it into the near side corner. He takes a heavy body. Make that Charlie James taking a heavy body in the corner, digging for the puck behind the Maryville net. Comes out to Justin Dungy. And now out to center ice, just thrown back in, and Arizona will go for a change. There's a glove on the ice picked up by a Saint. And we continue on. Just the start of the second period. All tied up 1-1. Division II Maryville, number 14 Arizona. And scrappy is the word I used all Thursday night, and I'm going to use it again, Tom. This is a scrappy Saints team.
Well, and they're living up to that, Tim. And you know what? That was a word that occurred to me earlier, too. And as long as they continue to play that way, Arizona's, I don't want to say they're struggling because I don't think that's the right term, but it's certainly not a style of play they appear to be comfortable contesting at this point. And they're going to have to pick it up a little bit and force the play more.
Puck bounces over Bailey Marshall's stick. Bailey Marshall, the leading scorer for Arizona. He slaps at it there and throws it into behind the net as Anthony Cusinelli paws at it there, but it comes out to center ice.
And Tim, you want to talk a little bit about basics back there on that rush. And for U of A, you kind of thwart yourself. You try to throw a little bit of a sauce pass up in the air. You hook it up with your stick blade instead of a flat pass and getting a good chance. A really good chance right there.
Stallings with the puck behind the net, calling for it in the slot, but it's on his backhand.
A good stick by Romeril to knock that one away.
Arizona trying to have a little more intensity to start this second period.
It has picked up, that's for sure. But again, Maryville, they're burning the extra man in those puck battles on the wall, Tim, and that's something U of A is not doing. And so right now, 70% of those battles are going to the Saints.
Saints with the puck in the Arizona end, but just so briefly. As the Cats pick it up, Justin Plumhoff throws it wide. Oh, and there's an attempt at a down low pass, but it's bounced out to center ice. Where Keelan Ulnick, who has Arizona's lone goal, picks it up, sends it back up ice. Here's Josh Larson with the puck over the blue line. And another wraparound attempt. Oh, that puck is on the stick of Josh Larson. It's in the net, but it wasn't. We remain 1-1. Arizona is ratcheting up the opportunities here, but Here comes Damian Carnegie in with a shot and a rebound. Oh, and there's a tussle right into the net. It comes off the pegs. Let's see if Nolan Bivelsick is okay in goal. Talking to his defenseman, I think he's okay. That's good. See him pop up.
Tim back on the other end. Picciano saved a goal. And Romeril was down. He was out. And if he did not get over to make that poke check on the wraparound, it's a 2-1 game. That was a huge defensive stop right there. And credit to him for being alert and getting over to that near post.
So just 3:14 gone in the third period. I'm sorry, in the second period.
Fast forwarding our game
Yes,
this afternoon.
exactly. As we're tied 1-1 early in the second period. So Arizona breaks up, right? That's Chris Westland, but he's alone. Saved in the zone. Matthew Hull sent it down. Back to Hull. Near the blue line. Over to Chris Westland. Tries to send it down low. It squirts wide.
And again, that's Maryville blocking those shots.
Cats tried to work it down low. That was Dawson Marshall, a freshman. Maybe should have tried to just throw it on net there. He tried to thread it down low, but the Cats keep it in the zone. And the Cats are working hard on this shift. Chris Westland digging for it. And throwing a little bit of a body. Cats have some good zone time here as the puck just kind of squirts in on Romeril.
And Tim, you mentioned something that I think is an important point. It's you don't want kids to be overly selfish, but you do want them to shoot the puck when they've got a shooting lane. Instead of trying to look to make that amazing pass that's got a 10% chance of completion, you try to scoot it through. Take the shot, make something happen. And if you put the puck on net, good things are going to happen, whether it's a rebound, sometimes one leaks through the goaltender, whatever it is.
So we'll have a face-off in the Arizona zone, just about 5 minutes into the second period. We're 4:09 into the second period. Won by Arizona.
Sportsmanlike conduct. Time of that penalty, 4 minutes, 9 seconds in the second period.
There's a shot that goes wide, and Maryville is back on the power play. Westland, who really worked hard on that shift, gets an unsportsmanlike conduct minor and goes to the box. So here's a great opportunity for the Maryville Saints. See if they can do anything with it. As that puck is kept in the zone, and that's a dangerous attempt at getting the puck out of the zone, sent right up the center of the ice. You better know that that puck is going to come out of the zone. Otherwise, that could turn into an opportunity the other way, and it is. Maryville, well, they're not able to keep the puck in the zone now. It comes out to center ice. That's a really dangerous attempt at a clear.
It is, Tim. The old axiom is when in doubt, boards and out. And you just put it off the wall, get the puck out of there. The other thing is if it's cut off on the wall, you got to do a little bit of work to get it into a decent scoring position. If you cut it off in the middle, that's prime territory.
Yeah, that was the center of the ice near the blue line, and the Maryville player was able to take it off its chest and keep it in the zone. Very dangerous. But no harm done. 40 seconds to go in the power play for the Maryville Saints. We're tied up between Division II Maryville of St. Louis and number 14 Arizona, playing here at home in an afternoon game here at the Tucson Arena. Remember, we drop the puck tomorrow at 4 p.m. Sunday, 4 p.m. against Grand Canyon. As we'll have a whistle on another face-off. Arizona has come out with more intensity in the first 5 minutes of this period, Tom. Nothing to show for it on the scoreboard yet.
Well, we are still tied at 1 here, Tim. I'll tell you what, they've at least limited Maryville's chances on this power play. And again, you have to sharpen your penalty killing. You have to sharpen everything when you're playing against this team. And, make ready for what's going to be not an easy schedule down the stretch here. And if you want to move up in the rankings, get into maybe single-digit territory, you've got to start to win some big hockey games. That includes knocking off a team like Maryville, as you mentioned. Doesn't count for the standings. But internally, mentally, it definitely counts, let alone the one-loss record.
Yeah, league play starts up again. Here's Chris Westland in out of the box and over the line, but he's not able to get a shot off. Good defensive play there by Maryville, able to tie up Trevor Henson, able to tie up Chris Westland there. Now giving a little bit of the lumber to Westland as he moves back up ice.
Well, that is old school. Lumber?
Yeah, maybe there is no actual lumber out in those sticks
I don't think there is
out
anymore.
on the ice.
I love that phrase, and I hear you.
As there's a shot and a goal. A big setup for Matthew Berkmeyer. Nolan Bivelsick left naked there. There's nothing that he could have done on that as the puck slid over and was sent home by Berkmeyer.
And Tim, nothing he could do on that one. And I'll tell you what, Berkmeyer let the shot go quickly. He didn't steady it. He didn't try to hang on to it. He just ripped it. And if you're going to catch the goaltender off guard, that's what you got to do.
That was a bang-bang play. That's the kind of high-skill play you would expect to see from the Arizona Wildcats. But Maryville, in maybe their only really great scoring chance of the game, score a beautiful goal to take a 2-1 lead. We'll wait for the call here. But Maryville's now out in front of the Arizona Wildcats by a score of 2-1. Now the Cats get it right back. The Cats get it right back. We're all tied up at 2. Boy, we want a response. That was a quick response by the Arizona Wildcats.
And a much needed one too, Tim. If you're gonna, and on that bench, I'm sure that's exactly what Coach Berman's saying. Boys, we got to get that back right now. Push right back down the ice, make something happen. That's exactly what they did. You could not ask for more.
Yeah, you can't let that team gain more and more confidence with the lead. Their lead lasted only about 15 seconds. We'll wait for the 2 calls. The first call by Matthew Berkmeyer, his goal wasn't even called yet. Here we go.
Number 16, Matthew Berkmeyer. The assist goes number 12, Damian Karinji. And
there's another one. Arizona scores again. The first call of Berkmeyer's goal isn't even done on a Cat turned and wheeled and just threw it at the net. And it's in. Arizona now suddenly ahead, 3-2. We're just 7:21 into the second period, and suddenly Arizona has scored 2 quick ones and takes the lead.
Tim, it's unbelievable what has just happened here in the last 2 minutes, and now we get a timeout called. Maryville went from feeling like they were on top of it, and now all of a sudden they're trailing. And so I'll tell you what, a huge change for U of A, but again, those moments when a game turns, that could be one of them, those couple of shifts right there.
That's Jones from James. Time of the first Wildcat goal. 7 minutes, 5 seconds in the second period. Second Arizona goal. Give it to number 18, Ethan Stallhuth. The assist goes to number 17, Ben Jones. That's Stallhuth from Jones. Time of your Wildcat goal, 7 minutes, 21 seconds in the second period.
He shoots, he scores twice in just a few seconds as Arizona takes a 3-2 lead. Jones with the second goal, Stallhuth with the third goal. And Arizona suddenly has a 1-goal lead again, after Maryville scored that beautiful goal to take a 2-1 lead. You just know that on that Wildcat bench, the word respond, time to respond, let's respond right now. Who's going to respond? That's about as quick of a response that you can get from a hockey team.
Well, and now, Tim, it's going to be interesting as Maryville tries to push back in. Does this game really start to pick up now? Is this where it gets feisty? Is this where we see some more penalties, some more odd man chances? I'm interested to see. Suddenly, it's a game.
I think it has to get feisty if you're Maryville. I think you have to pick up some physical play. You got to slow down Arizona somehow here. Arizona, though, the Bear has been awoken, or the Wildcat has been awoken here, I think, a little bit. Going down 2-1, that was like cold water in the face of the Arizona Wildcats.
You don't want to poke the sleeping cat, but... You know, and they had to wake themselves up. Let's face it, they looked like they were just kind of plodding through the first period, both teams a little bit, through the first 20 minutes. And I think here in the second, it's turned into more of a hockey game.
Playback on now, 12:10 to go in the second period. Arizona now with a 1-goal lead over Maryville. As the Cats keep it in the zone. Yeah, this is a dangerous part of the game here. Now Arizona can feel again. They figured it out. They've solved Maryville. Well, guess what? It's just a 1-goal game with more than half the hockey game to go. Arizona needs to prove they're the better team. Put Maryville away. And they continue on in the offensive zone, but Maryville is able to get it out to center ice.
They do have a little more pep in their step, Tim, the Wildcats. I will say that. You can see that the level has come up a little bit. The energy is up.
The energy has come up as a cat comes over the blue line and behind the net, throws it right out in front.
And Maryville right now, they've got to manage their game. They've got to manage the puck. And they've got to take care of things and go back to playing their game, that puck support game, and not let U of A intimidate them or run them over.
Here's a 2-on-2 coming for Arizona back up the ice. Josh Larson with it. Can he turn in front? He does turn in front. That puck goes in. Josh Larson with an amazing one-handed goal. Josh Larson puts Arizona up 4-2. What a great cut with the puck right in front of Romero, and he slides it home. Now that's a statement goal from the Arizona Wildcats. They take a lead 4-2.
And Tim, you said it. Romero's got to make the saves that he needs to make. He needed to make that one. I don't know if he went for the poke check and missed, or if he was just swinging his stick across, but he missed on the poke. And it went right through the wickets into the net. That's a huge goal for U of A. Gives them a little bit of breathing room. And now even more energy.
Boy, I didn't think Josh Larson was going to be able to keep that puck on his stick as he cut right in front of the goaltender, but he did and sent it home.
Give it to number 24, Keenan Olnick. The assist goes to number 19, Justin Plumont. That's Olnick from Plumont. Time
It's
of
an afternoon
your
game,
Wildcat
Tim.
goal, 9 minutes, 2 seconds in the second period.
I'm going to stick with number 6, Josh Larson, with that goal. I don't think that was cool. And Keenan Olnick, who did score earlier.
They weren't announcing his goal, were they?
I don't know. They all count, though.
Yes.
So the bigger point is that Arizona leads 4-2 now with a nice skill goal burst of speed. A nice cut in front of the goaltender. Oh, and there's a wraparound. That's in the net. A wraparound. Oh, Aaron Romero left his post, and he paid for it. That's another great skill goal. Romero left his post, and it's a wraparound and in. And Arizona, right at the 10-minute mark, halfway through the game, has broken it open. It's Arizona 5, Maryville 2.
That's twice Romero's been caught fishing, and actually probably more than that, but twice it's ended up in a goal where he's been way out on that left post. That time, it looked like Stavro tried to get back defensively for Maryville, much like they had Picciano saved a goal earlier. Romero out. Well, this time, it looked like Stavro, the puck went in off of it. Tim, heading down the runway to the locker room right now is Kevin Gregory for Maryville. He's limping heavily on his way out, so that's not a good sign.
Yeah, Gregory with Maryville's first goal this afternoon, and he is...
Arizona Wildcat goal, give it to number 12, Chris Westland. That's Westland unassisted. Time of your Wildcat goal, 10 minutes in the second period.
So right at the halfway mark, Chris Westland scores the 5th goal. As you said, Kevin Gregory very gingerly leaving the ice there. Let's hope he's okay and come back for the 3rd period. Maryville does not have a long bench. The puck comes in on Bivelsick, and he freezes it for a face-off there. Boy, Arizona in just a matter of about 5 minutes has broken this game open.
They really have, Tim. And as I mentioned, you know, sometimes you get those turning points in the hockey game. I think when they fell behind, the message went up and down the bench quickly, let's go. And they've done just that. They have come in, they've pressured the puck, they've done a great job. They've gotten faster. I don't think Arizona was using its speed, and they are now.
I think you're absolutely right. And, you know, it's very unusual for a team to be able to press a button like that. You know, you can't always depend on doing that. You don't want to have to wait until you're in a hole before you press the button and turn on the jets. Arizona has been able to do that here in this second period.
Well, and I'll tell you, they need to continue to pressure. They cannot take their foot off the gas.
Almost half the game left We're a little bit over 10 minutes into the second period. Arizona now with a 5-2 lead. Just a few minutes ago, they were down 2-1. As here we got an ice that's waved off. And the Cats pick it up and send it to center ice.
And Tim, for Maryville, I mean, this is, oh boy.
See if a penalty's going to be called
there,
here.
and that's, yeah.
You have a high hit on Connor Gent. He's up and he's okay.
I wouldn't say he's okay. He's up. I wouldn't say he's okay. He looks.
Oh, he is, but you're right. He looks woozy now. He's kind of bent over at the bench.
Yeah, that one stung him. I don't know if it caught him in the head or the shoulder, but it looked like it stung him a little bit. But it's going to put Maryville short-handed. And Tim, what I was going to say is, as odd as this sounds, you're down by 3 goals. If you're Maryville, you can't abandon your game plan, because if you try to open it up, you try to stretch the ice, now you're going to open yourself up to the counter, and I think that's where UofA can pick them apart. So they really have to stick to what they've been doing. And it's hard to sell your team on that when you're down 3 goals.
So Damian Carnegie goes into the box, and easily I think a penalty could have been called on Arizona there. That's Carnegie defending his teammate, but he's the one who gets the penalty. That's how hockey goes sometimes, but you have to defend your teammate.
And, you know, Tim, how many times do we hear guys say, boy, they never call the first one, but they get the retaliation?
Yeah, it's because, you know, the first one can be outside the vision of the referee, but for sure the second one won't be.
Haringi, 4 minutes, double minor for roughing. Time of that penalty, 11 minutes in the second period.
Now, to add insult to injury, or even more injury to insult, that's a 4-minute double minor for Carnegie, when easily there could have been perhaps an intent to injure or a 5-minute major on Arizona.
Well, right now, the Wildcats need to cash in a couple of times here. Hey, you got the break. You know, that's just the way it goes. You're the beneficiary of the break. Now you've got to take advantage of it.
Well, and there's the break for Anthony Cusinelli, the all-everything all-star for Arizona, freshman of the year in the ACHA last year. Almost scored Arizona's 6th goal. Maryville's able to break to center ice and just throw it down. Yeah, you know, this is where I got to believe Coach Berman would be disappointed if Arizona doesn't pot at least 1 goal off a double minor here in the second period. Arizona has great opportunity here to work on their power play. Josh Larson with a quick shot.
Great setup.
And the puck bounces wide. Boy, Romero was going the wrong way there. That puck almost bounced in off the rebound. Josh Larson sends it back up to the blue line. Now back behind the net to Ethan Stalyuth. Digging for it there with Josh Larson. And the Saints are able to get it down the zone. So, about 35 seconds to go on the first of the double minor. Arizona with a great scoring chance there, but it remains 5-2 lead for the Wildcats. Arizona showing much better speed now in this last couple minutes, Tom.
Well, and as I say, Tim, they're awake now. They definitely were slow playing it in the first period, and both teams were. Again, 1 p.m. start. Does that tie into it? Probably.
Yeah.
But you know what? This is what the Wildcats needed to get it going, to find that jump, that spark, and I think that response goal when Maryville took a 2-1 lead, all of a sudden, that's what lit the fire.
Cats coming right back in. There's Josh Larson with the puck. Larson with a beautiful goal. The puck just shot past the wide post there, but Cats retain possession. Justin Plumhoff with it. Sends it up the near side boards. Justin Dungy with it. Sends it back to Plumhoff. Back to the point, right into the breadbasket. Oh, and it's dropped right in the crease. What a juicy rebound, but it's swept aside. Arizona retains possession, however. 1:20 to go on the second of the double minor. Man advantage for Arizona. So they move the puck around, but Maryville's able to get a stick on it. And Matthew Simon Selly is able to get it out of the zone. Now coming down to a minute left in the double minor, this would be a victory of sorts for Maryville. They can kill off 4 straight minutes of a man disadvantage.
You know, Tim, it's interesting. You cued in on Thursday, maybe halfway through the game is when Maryville started to slow down a little bit. I think we're seeing it again here today. They're just a half step. It's not much, but it's a half step.
I think you're right. They've decelerated a half step, and Arizona has accelerated perhaps a full step as Cusinelli has the puck, sends it back at the top of the blue line, and Romero's able to grab that one and make the save. Aaron Romerl played a good first period, made a couple mistakes here in the second that ended up in the back of the net. Goaltenders, every player on a hockey team can make mistakes, but boy, when a goaltender makes a mistake, often the red light goes on.
I love when Jacques Plante, years and years ago, the quote attributed to him in various forms, but the essence of it is, how would you like it if when you made a mistake at work, a little red light went on over your desk and 15,000 people booed you?
Booed you. That's absolutely right.
And that's what it's like for a goaltender. Your mistakes are the most visible.
There's a nice little tip by Chris Westland in front. Doesn't go into the net, but Arizona retains possession. Down to the last 17 seconds now of the two-man advantage. I'm sorry, of the double minor one-man advantage. And Arizona has not scored on it. That should do it. That should kill off the power play the double minor for Arizona as Damian Carnegie heads back out onto the ice.
And Tim, you've got to find a way to kill that off for your teammate. He stuck up for his teammate. Your team has to find a way to kill that off, even though it turned out to be a double minor.
And they did as Maryville picks up the puck. Carnegie was all alone on the side of the net, but they couldn't get the puck to him. And here come the Cats back the other way. There's a bad angle shot there, or a tough angle shot going in there by Justin Dungy. That's the kind of stuff you do. Test a goaltender.
Especially when you've had one leak through, Tim.
Yeah,
toss it at him.
Make him prove that he can stop that kind of shot. And as we head into the last 4:10 of the second period, Arizona's speed is really starting to take over here. Here comes Maryville on a rear break in. And a nice shot there by Cole Mudra. But Bivol held his ground, made the save.
Tim, we haven't talked a lot about Bivilsick in this game, but I'll tell you what, as a goaltender and someone who's been on both incredibly busy nights and then nights where you don't have much, as that one goes wide, but it's tougher, I think, to keep your focus when you have less work, and he's done a very good job.
He has done a good job, and there he was kind of left alone as a Saint had the puck on his stick all alone, but shovels it wide. So no harm, that won't even show up as a shot on goal.
Zadina into the box for tripping. That was on the near side over here. And so U of A with this 3-goal lead, Tim, just under 4 to go in the second. You put him back on the power play. They didn't convert on that double minor, which I think is actually going to be a little frustrating for him. But, well, you put one more in right here, and it's going to be real tough for the Saints to stick around.
Well, and I think we might, as the puck comes out of the zone.
Zadina. 2 minutes for tripping. Time of the penalty, 17 minutes, 20 seconds in the second period. And it gives your Wildcats a Schaefer Oil power play.
So Anthony Cusinelli made a very rare mistake there as the puck comes back to him and he shoots it right away. That's a good sign from Anthony Cusinelli, who likes to share the puck. He likes to pass the puck, and sometimes he passes up really good shooting opportunities. That's a good sign to see Anthony have the puck on his stick and really let it go immediately.
And something there, Andrew Songstad was hurt coming off the ice. I don't know if he twisted his ankle clearing that puck out, but he's being looked at by the trainer on the bench right now. Tim, something to do with his one of his, perhaps an ankle or something there. I'm not sure, but he's staying on the bench, but he's not happy.
2:40 to go in the second period. Arizona now with a commanding 5-2 lead. Broke this game open with a spurt of just a few minutes from being down 2-1 to now up 5-2. So they're working on the power play. 45 seconds to go in the power play. Josh Larson already with the goal here tonight with the puck behind the net. Sends it back out to the blue line over to Manny Rowe right in the center of the ice. So they come back to Manny. Comes back to Manny Rowe, and he lets it go. That's a good idea. Romerl sees it all the way, though. But that's part of the development I was talking to you, Tom, about Manny Rowe. He knows he doesn't have to blast it from the point. He doesn't have to come in too close. Just get it through, get it in on net, have one of his other guys pick up a rebound and put it home.
Well, that shot wasn't too high. It was tippable in a range that wouldn't have been a high stick. But it was also towards a corner. It wasn't straight at the M on the goaltender's jersey.
Yeah.
So, it all comes down to shot selection, and that's part of getting better.
Manny Rowe tries it again, but the puck doesn't get through that time. he turns around, and because Saint was going to break out with the puck, and Manny Rowe, very disciplined there, was back with his assignment, and now he's going back to get the puck. It won't be an ice, of course, because it doesn't go far enough, but also because Maryville is down a man. That's about to end here, and the power play is over for Arizona.
Carnegie came in, and he came in low. I think the whistle ends up as offside, but I don't know if Carnegie lost an edge coming in. Oh, he lost a skate blade. That's what happened.
He did. Yeah, he's going to need help to get to the bench because his skate is broken.
You know, that's the new skates now, Tim. They used to sharpen the whole skate, have to take the boot off the foot. Now the steel comes separate from the holder.
Yeah.
And they can zip them on and zip them off. They clip on and clip off, but the problem is sometimes they come out, and that's what happened to Carnegie. Blew a wheel right there through no fault of his own. That was just an equipment malfunction.
So he's heading off the ice to get that fixed. Probably will not be back here in this second period, but hopefully we'll see him in the third. Just a minute 30 to go in the second period. Arizona up 5-2 over Maryville. This sets up to be a very interesting third period of hockey. Tom, what does Maryville want to get out of its last period of hockey on their road trip here in Tucson? What can the Arizona Wildcats achieve here at home in that third period?
And I think Maryville has shown in fits and starts that they are capable of sticking with an ACHA D1 team. But they don't have their complete 60-minute game there yet. So you continue to work on that. You continue to work on the little things. You work on your system, and you plug away at it. For U of A, meanwhile, same thing. You go to the basics, but you make sure you keep your foot on the gas.
Well, I wonder if Maryville might want to give a little bit of net time to one of the other goaltenders, get him some experience on the road in a big arena. It'll be interesting to see what approach Coach John Hogan has for this third period. Just 35 seconds to go in the second period.
Well, you don't necessarily want to sit your junior goaltender, but if you feel the need to get one of your other guys some time, I think the third period here might be it.
Yeah.
Although, that's as much a concession speech as you can make.
Well, I don't know if it's a concession speech. You know, you're building a team and you want to give more goaltenders experience. I wouldn't see that as a comment on Aaron Romero, I think, who's played pretty well here in both of these games. But how many opportunities do you get to play against better competition like this, I guess is what I was thinking. Now down to the last 1 second, and that's going to be it for the second period. Oh, and Chris Westland with a big hit. And that was a good, clean hit. That was just at the whistle. And so we'll have a little bit of a discussion at the horn. But that was a clean hit. There was no ill intention there. But, again, Maryville sticking up for their teammates.
And it did get more physical in the second period. It did get chippier and feistier. It got faster. The game certainly picked up here, went in favor of U of A. But I'll tell you what, Tim, if you're U of A, you're still not happy with the first half of that period. You really didn't like the way the first half of the second went, but you're happy the way you finished it, and now your focus is on finishing that same way.
Now head on over to our official Facebook page for UofA Hockey because our Kate Gross is going to be interviewing Coach Berman as he leaves the ice. That's over at our official Facebook page with Kate Gross. I think that's happening right now. And right now on our broadcast, stick around because we've got another package of video highlights and interviews about University of Arizona hockey that will play for our intermission report. And then we'll be back to bring you the third period of play. After 2 periods of play, it's the Arizona Wildcats 5 and it's the Maryville Saints 2. That's after 2 periods of play. Come on back for the third period after these video features. You're watching University of Arizona Wildcat Hockey.
Wildcat Hockey regresa a Tucson y tú puedes ahorrarte hasta 20% en boletos con los nuevos paquetes de FlexPack.
Your Arizona Wildcats.
Un acceso de 6 a 12 juegos esta temporada de los Gatos. Boletos disponibles en Tucson Convention Center o llamando el 791-4101. Apoya a su equipo esta temporada con FlexPack. Para más información visite ArizonaWildcatHockey.org.
warm-up time. Hello, Tucson, Arizona. Hiya, Joe. Have a good one, guys. Have a good one. Work hard.
Gets going. Let's take a look at the south.
All right, fellas, have a good one now. Keep him down. Let's go. Nah. Up easy. Too many men here.
I know in the past you've talked about trying to create a cooperative atmosphere on the ice between yourself, the teams, and the coaching staffs. Talk about your approach to officiating what can be a very difficult game.
Well, certainly at this level, you've got guys that know the game, and basically they know you. You've been working with them for 2, 3, 4 years, and you get a rapport with them. I don't have any animosity toward anybody at this level. They know what I expect, and they do their job, and I do my job, and everybody's happy.
Hey,
let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen,
shut up! Shut up!
up!
So we're getting even? All right, cool. I like it.
We have 10 feet from our boards.
No, you don't.
We don't?
No.
No?
No, you have to be at the bench.
I'm sorry?
You have to be at the bench. Go 10 feet. Your goaltender does. Your goaltender's got 10 feet if you're going to pull the goaltender. That's sure. Yeah, you bet. Anytime. Well, I think went rather well. Stick down, stick down, stick down. Let's go, move it, move it. That's all, that's all. Easy in front now, easy in front. I got it loose, let's go. Move it, move it. It's loose. Nothing so far, let's go. Get a clue. You want to go for 10?
There's a mistake goal by number 8, Jason.
You guys gotta start calling some of that, huh?
What's that?
Just the blatant, like when we get scoring opportunities taken away. I don't care about the tiki but like cross checks in front and that. Soft hook. Yeah, that was breakaway. I was watching.
Can't nobody else work with us. Good period. Up, 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 up. No problem there, no problem there. No problem, let him go, 5. Good job, good job. How long you know me? Couple years?
Oh, come on, why did you come over there?
Huh? I would never throw a guy. I wouldn't even throw a guy. Are you kidding me? Come on, that's not enough. Knock it off.
You gotta give him a penalty. He was screwed with our goalie, you saw it.
No, I didn't see it. I was following the puck. What was he doing? Yeah.
That was a pretty bad cheap shot there.
Was it?
At number 7, he's the guy. Same thing last time we played.
7?
I sat out for 2 weeks because of him. Cheap shots, you know?
I'll watch him. I'll watch him. Thanks. That was a pretty good game. Just trying to capture the spirit of the thing.
We need you.
We need you.
We need you to support Wildcat hockey.
The Wildcats are back in action, and it's time to show your U of A pride at the TCC Arena. Please call for tickets or come to the TCC box office. U of A hockey is affordable and fun for the entire family.
We need you.
We need you.
We need you to support U of A Wildcat hockey.
All right, we're in for the second episode of the Puck Stops here, and why not bring in the guy that almost had the shutout tonight here at the home opener for the University of Arizona, Anthony Churro. Anthony, welcome in. We did this last year, and we're going to touch on some new things today, I promise. Tell me a little bit about how it felt out there tonight to first of all get the win. I know that's first and foremost, but how were you? Were you comfortable?
Yeah, I felt really good. I mean, the first shot's always a big one, especially coming in, not that many practices, so getting that first shot out of the way was nice. But I felt comfortable the whole game, and the guys helped me out. Everything was to the outside and keeping it simple for me.
Let's start right there. You guys don't get much practice as a goaltender. How important is it to get ice time?
Yeah, it's pretty important, but I mean, the practices we did have they were good because we get a lot of shots. But I mean, just in those practices, like I said earlier, you have to keep it simple for the goalies. I mean, work on the small things, like rebound control, because I mean that's gonna be the biggest thing in our games, especially against the Sun Devils. Because I mean they're just throwing pucks to the net, trying to get rebounds. So, yeah.
Coach told me that you lost some weight, you got in better shape, you look comfortable. Did you feel as comfortable as you looked?
Yeah, I felt really good. I felt really comfortable. The 20 pounds definitely helps. I can definitely tell a difference. Faster, side to side, and just feel a lot more comfortable.
Talk a little bit about the style of goaltending that you play. You play your angles, I think, really well, and you control the rebounds really well. It's fun to watch because you kind of let the puck come to you, right?
Yeah.
Is that something you want to do? Is that something you strive to do out there?
Yeah, I mean, I got to keep my angles strong. I'm not the biggest goalie, so my angles are probably the biggest part of my game. So I got to challenge and take away angles because I'm not that big. So got to do what I can to make sure I'm in the right positions.
What was it like to play an ASU team that, A, there wasn't many penalties, and B, there was a pretty good flow to the game from one end of the ice to the other? Is that fun as a goaltender?
Yeah, it's a lot more fun. Not as many stops like last year when it was penalty after penalty. I mean, it keeps the game flow going. And it wasn't just one-sided. It was back and forth, which is always fun. It's a little nerve-wracking, but it's always a fun time.
I know there's a little personal pride to win it for UofA since you're from the Phoenix area, but is there anything special you think about this series?
It's just different, and I don't know how to put it in words, but everything's different. The intensity goes up quite a bit. I don't know what it is, but we want to beat them, they want to beat us, and we don't like each other. So it is whatever we can do to win.
You know, we talk about the Western Conference that you guys play in, and you look at UNLV, you look at yourselves, ASU, Colorado, all those different schools, and it seems like the competitiveness is getting closer and closer. You've only been here for a year now, but what do you think? You think it's getting better? Better hockey?
I mean, we've only played 2 games, so I haven't really seen many other teams, but I mean, against ASU, I mean, you can see it tonight, it was pretty even. I mean, we weren't our best game, but you can see from there, I mean, last year it was pretty lopsided, so it's good to see a pretty even competition.
I want to talk a little bit about your summer, but I know you always spend a week at the Behind the Mask Goalie School, and tell me just how important that is. You've been there for a number of years now, and how much good does that get you?
I mean, I did it when I was younger. I actually did the camp. Now I'm an instructor, so I mean, it's good to get out there and help the young ones out and help them become better goalies. But then you also see kind of things you need to work on too. You see like the older guys that do the camp. I mean, you see what they're doing wrong, and you kind of look at it into your game and see maybe I could fix that too. So Randy does a great job, and I'm grateful he lets me come out every year.
You know, that was going to be my next question is, what do you take away as an instructor? You get to watch so many different styles and younger kids, so what do you take away personally? Are the things you learn?
Yeah, I mean, you see different styles, especially in the older guys that do the camp, because I mean, everyone has a different style of play. I think the biggest thing as an instructor is, like for the older guys, is to make the small things better, and then for the little guys to make sure they're doing the big things right. So there's definitely a big age group difference, but you definitely see a bunch of different talent.
And for people that don't know, that thing sells out quick, doesn't it? I mean, he fills it up as many as he can get on the ice.
Yeah, I think I don't know how many years he's been doing it, but I think every year it sells out. He does a great job. It's a good camp, and yeah.
So I always ask my goaltenders as we wrap things up, if you're going to talk to an 8, 9, 10-year-old goaltender, what are you going to tell them? What's the most important thing to get to the point where you're at or beyond?
I mean, a big thing's a quick memory. You can't let goals get in your head. And I think just quickness, side-to-side movements and challenging your angles and stuff. But I think the biggest thing is keeping your mental game steady and keeping it strong.
Anthony, congratulations on that first win. I'm sure there's many more to come. So good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
There is no doubt that number 16, Kelly Walker, is the best of the best. Kelly, when I think of you, I think of the love and the commitment and the greatness you achieved here, right on this ice. Kelly and his teammates were 24-0 versus ASU over that 4-year stretch. Please direct your attention to the south end of the Tucson Arena as we now reveal the banner honoring Kelly Walker. Please welcome back to the ice of the Tucson Arena, number 16, Kelly Walker.
You guys have a chance to show this town college hockey at the greatest level that you guys play. So I'm just extremely humbled to be here, to be in front of you guys, and to be in front of this whole great arena. And it's a very emotional moment for me. I'd like to thank my girlfriend, Andrea. I'd like to thank my line mates, Corey, Johnny, Johnny Wags, Goldsey, Danny Anderson, certainly Tommy Smith. I want to mention thanks to the great presentation that Tim did for me today. I want to thank Coach Burns. I want to make special recognition to Shane Faucell. And I also like to take recognition for every other player who has played here at the University of Arizona, who's proud to have played for the University of Arizona, and who continues to support this great program going forward and in the future. So guys, thank you so much for the tribute. Thanks for the support. Love you guys. Thank you very much.
Your hockey team, your Arizona Wildcats. Tickets for Arizona hockey are now on sale. Your hockey team, your Arizona Wildcats. Call 791-4101 for tickets now.
Welcome back to University of Arizona Wildcat Hockey. I'm Timothy Gasson, and we're getting ready to bring you the third period of play between the number 14 Arizona Wildcats and the Maryville Saints. Arizona leads 5-2 after breaking this game open in the second period. They were actually trailing 2-1 until about 6 minutes into that second period. Then Arizona really broke it open and now lead 5-2. This is kind of a repeat of what happened Thursday night, where Maryville kept it close and then Arizona pulled away in the second half of the game. That's why I'm curious to see exactly how this third period goes, what kind of intensity Arizona has, what kind of intensity Maryville has. This will be their last period of hockey in Tucson. They can let it all hang out. Down by 3 goals on the road. As we said, Maryville, a Division II team. First year of operation under ex-Wildcat John Hogan. Arizona led, of course, by head coach Chad Berman, who had John Hogan as his assistant last year. Now has another Hogan, Toppy Hogan. John's brother is the Arizona assistant coach this season. So this is a Hogan hockey convention here at the Tucson Arena, both Thursday and today. And boy, John Hogan must have been very happy with his squad when they were up 2-1 over Arizona early in that second period. But now trails 5-2 to the Arizona Wildcats. Okay, Coach Tom Callahan, tell me, if you were a fly on the wall, or if you were the head coach of either of these squads, what did you say to your team to come out, and how do you want them to play this third period?
Well, I think if I'm the head coach of the Maryville Saints, I tell the guys, hey, let's go, keep it going, and give your best effort in this third period. You're not out of this hockey game. You can score 3 goals in a period. But it's going to take your best effort, and you're going to really have to push. Now, if you're U of A, keep your foot on the gas and stay on Maryville, because confidence is a fragile thing. And right now, I think if you get one more on the Saints, it might be the end of it.
Well, and you know, I know that I'm going to bet that Coach Berman is saying to his squad, you know, you didn't play a 60-minute game on Thursday. You haven't played a 60-minute game. Well, guess what is in your control? Well, you can play a good 20 minutes of hockey in this third period. Give it everything you got.
Well, and that's it. As we mentioned, you're not happy with the first. You're not even actually happy maybe with the first half of the second period, but you have to take the learning points from this game, of which I'm sure Coach Berman will find several. And you also say, all right, well, let's now complete the effort. You guys did a great job when you came alive in the second period. Keep it going.
So we have a face-off in the Maryville zone. The Cats pick it up there, keep the pressure on in this third period. We're just underway. Arizona with a 5-2 lead over Maryville. Now, Wildcat fans, stick around at the end of the game. Our Kate Gross will go to center ice and have the interview with head coach Chad Berman and the player of the game. That's at center ice immediately following the game. And then head over to our Facebook page as there's a shot that just misses wide from Ethan Stahluth. Cats are offside. They're going to have to leave the zone. No, they still haven't cleared it yet. Now they have. They're back on side and play continues on.
Tim, I think I heard this correctly. I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there, but I'm pretty sure John Hogan, the coach of Maryville, won Chuck a Puck. They just announced, they said, John Hogan, yes, the former U of A Wildcat, yes, you won Chuck a Puck. Okay.
There's a shot that goes wide. I think it was an attempt at a tip in there by Devon Langelar. Puck comes back to Langelar, and it pinballs around and comes out. Boy, things are, well, I guess if that's true, if you heard that right, Tom, then John Hogan at least is going to leave Tucson with one victory.
There you go.
If not in either of these games. Do you know how hard it is to win Chuck a Puck? You know, they have a target out at center ice, and everyone throws their pucks, and whoever gets closest to the middle. But usually you have to hit right in the middle. But John Hogan just like tosses one out. Wow, there's a lot of talent in the Hogan family.
There you go.
Timothy Gasson here with Tom Callahan, bringing you the Arizona Wildcats versus Maryville contest, the second of 2 games. The rubber match, we were talking about the chance for instant redemption from Maryville. They did have a 2-1 lead in this game as Josh Larson is dumped to the ice. No call, and play continues on. I can't believe that they're going to be entirely satisfied if they don't at least get another goal on the board, or at least show that they can be competitive for stretches of this third period.
Well, absolutely, Tim. And you know what? Neither side will end up satisfied. Oh, what a huge hit right there. Larson just absolutely leveled Golikov.
Oh, that was a big shoulder hit, a nice clean hit. Larson had been taken to the ice just a few seconds earlier, nothing was called. Well, he came back and laid the lumber. Wow.
He steamrolled him.
That will take the breath out of you, that's for sure.
Wow. And that's the kind of thing that can fire your team up, Tim. We don't see giant hits like that too often, but we've seen 1 or 2 here today.
It was huge. The entire Arizona bench is on their feet as the shot comes in and bounces over the net into the near side, and Maryville tries to get some speed up to center ice, but gives the puck away to Manny Rowe. He just shovels it back in to the Maryville zone. Outlet pass that is, offside to Damian Carnegie. So immediately after the game, Kate Gross will interview Coach Werman and the player of the game, and then head over to the locker room, and you can go to our Facebook page and see the post-game press conference. Kate Gross will have that for you as well on our official Facebook page. But stick around here because we'll also have our post-game report with Tom Callahan here immediately following the game. Some more hitting there at center ice, and one of the twigs was broken by a Maryville player, and he has to drop it and pick up a new one. That for sure was not a wood stick that Spencer Turner had there, as parts of it go shattering off of it. So I can't say lay the lumber anymore. Laying the graphite doesn't have the same
it's not the same,
the same kind of feel to it, Tom.
I'll always be using the phrase lumber and talking about twigs, and it's just the way it is. But you know what? I mean, Turner's only 5'8", and he's trying to prove a point here and keep this game physical and keep Maryville going.
Well, and this is a point, Maryville has 15 players that are under 6 feet tall and only 3 players over 200 pounds. They're a small hockey team. They don't play like a small hockey team. They're a very scrappy hockey team. But as we said, they have almost all freshmen, just a couple sophomores and a junior. So it's a very young, smaller hockey team. I got to believe some of these 18-year-old freshmen are going to be a couple inches taller when they're seniors on this Maryville team.
I would believe so. And you know what, Tim, you mentioned it earlier, but I love the team tough mentality that Coach Hogan has with these guys. And now they're going to get a shot on the power play here. There's a whole scrum kind of on the wall on the near side here. Not at all. Chris Westland ends up with a cross-checking call. And so the Saints are going to have a chance to work on their power play a little bit.
Yeah, there's absolutely a team feel with this Maryville Saints team. Teammates sticking up for each other. And that's tough to do. Brand new teammates, brand new team. You're not winning a lot of games, but you're sticking together. That's how you build a team.
Yes, that's it's compete level. It's wanting to play for the guy to your left and to your right, and wanting to go through a wall for them, for the team. And you build that culture early, Tim. That's a winning culture.
Chris Westland, 2 minutes for cross-checking. Time to that penalty, 4 minutes, 11 seconds in the third period.
So a cross-check for Westland. He goes to the box, and this is the opportunity for Maryville to run their power play on the road. In the last period of their trip here to Tucson, they dropped the decision 6-1 on Thursday night to Arizona. They're down 5-2 now here in the third period, but with the man advantage. And every time that they can make that red light go on, it's a little victory onto its own as the puck comes in on Nolan Bivelsick, and he makes the good save. Bivelsick has looked good. Like you said, it's a tale of 2 different kind of approaches to goaltending. He's got to be ready for a minute or 2 minutes without seeing any rubber, and then suddenly there's a power play. You got to be sharp.
And not always easy for any athlete, any sport, to be able to be sharp when it comes your way. But Bivelsick's going to be called on here a few times in this power play, I'm sure.
Play back on, just a minute 10 to go on the man advantage for the Saints now. As the Cats pick off the puck near the blue line, they do get it out of the zone. Dawson Marshall now with the puck coming up the wing. Sends it over to his brother. Oh, but he can't get a handle on the puck. That was a Marshall to Marshall special. But Bailey Marshall, the leading scorer for Arizona, could not keep his stick on the puck. And we have 40 seconds to go on the man advantage for Maryville. But boy, after getting set up early in the power play, they just can't get over the blue line.
Well, a nice job to end up breaking up that shorthanded chance. But right now, Maryville, I mean, just you have to be controlled. You have to be able to move the puck into the zone, maintain possession. But I think we're seeing where the bigger U of A squad is able to muscle them off the puck a little bit more here in this third period.
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit more muscle in this Wildcat roster for sure. As Nolan Bivelsick sees that puck, takes a little hop up and makes the save. Some really valuable minutes here Thursday and tonight for Nolan Bivelsick. And I believe Anthony Shuro is going to get the start for Arizona in goal tomorrow against Grand Canyon University. Remember, Wildcat fans, that's a 4 p.m. puck drop here at the Tucson Arena. 4 p.m. Our broadcast will start at 3:50 in the afternoon. Thanks for sticking with us and coming and supporting your hometown hockey team, UofA Hockey, in these afternoon games as the Cats come in 2-1. That's Ethan Stallings with the puck on the backhand. He gets it off, but Romerell makes the save.
Nice stomp right there by Romerell, and just keep shooting the puck. If you're U of A right now, Tim, that's absolutely what you want to do. You got a 3-goal cushion. 4 looks a lot better. Hey, you just keep going. And if Maryville gets a goal somehow here and it becomes 5-3, well, now it gets a little dodgy. So you really do want to make sure you maintain, if not improve, the cushion.
Well, as you know, hockey is a game of great momentum. Nothing changes momentum like scoring a goal. And if Maryville gets that third goal, as you said, we could have an interesting, play the next 5 minutes of the game, then play the next 5 minutes of the game. And I think that's how a young team like this has to look at it. They're not down 5-2. It's 0-0 going into the third in their minds. They got to win the third period.
That's it. And, you can break it down into whatever intervals you want, but just win the next shift.
Yeah.
Win that shift. All right, win the next shift and just keep on going from there. Are you going to score 3 goals? Well, you don't know if you don't try. And that's really what you have to do to keep the mindset positive for these kids and to keep the program going in the right direction. But I think, as I said before, I think Coach Hogan has done a real good job with the culture here so far.
Well, and there's a different challenge for Coach Berman for tomorrow. For tomorrow's game against Grand Canyon, another Division II opponent, about getting his guys to play a good 60-minute game. Grand Canyon last year, their Division II program, got their very first win over a Division I program last year here in Tucson. They have confidence playing here in Tucson. And if you want to talk about a trap game, this could be a trap game tomorrow. 3 games over 4 nights. Arizona could be a little tired. It'll be interesting to see how the Wildcats come out for tomorrow's game, 4 p.m. puck drop here at the Tucson Arena against Grand Canyon. But we have 12:10 to go in this one. Arizona with a 3-goal lead, 5-2 over Maryville. And there's been some hitting in this as Arizona gives the puck away, and there's a shot that goes wide for Matthew Simoncelli. Comes right back into the Arizona zone, but they pick it up. The Arizona bench standing again. This is interesting. They're trying to, I think, generate some momentum and kind of a cohesive feel for this third period. They can't be happy with parts of the first and second.
Well, and right now, Tim, you have to keep that energy up. You want to keep that energy up if you're U of A. And, hey, you know what? You give up one chance here, one chance there to Maryville. I mean, that's going to happen over the course of this third period, what's left of it now. But, boy, you really got to take care of matters in your own end, too. That's going to be so critical for the Wildcats down the stretch here.
Here's the puck that's deflected way out of play.
Hey, Wildcat fans, be sure to join us tomorrow.
Your hockey team, your Cactus Cup champions, your Arizona Wildcats. Tickets for Arizona Hockey are now on sale. See your Wildcats take on Arizona State, the NHL, and more at Tucson Arena. Your hockey team, your Arizona Wildcats. Call 791-4101 for tickets now.
What a pleasure to have a former National Hockey League voice, the voice of the Nashville Predators. That's Tom Callahan sitting in on University of Arizona Hockey. What a privilege for University of Arizona Hockey to have Tom Callahan in the broadcast booth. He's done several broadcasts with us this season, and I just want to thank you for being here, Tom. Just your presence helps. Of course, you know, we have an entire student media staff here that produces these games with me, and having a career professional broadcaster like you here just means so much for University of Arizona hockey. So thanks for being here and even doing our commercial reads for us.
Sure, thanks, Tim. I appreciate you you having me on to help out with this. And you know what? I love hockey. I mean, this is my favorite sport in the entire world, and I enjoy talking about it, calling it, reading it, watching it. I just think I wish I could get everyone involved in it, and I just try to share the passion that I have for it.
So Jackson Peters will be back on the broadcast tomorrow afternoon for the 4 p.m. puck drop against Grand Canyon. Tom Callahan here with us this afternoon as Cat kind of gets wrapped up there with Romeril. The play continued on. That was an odd play as the Cat got wrapped up with the goaltender in the side. There's a shot to goal!
Oh, wave it off.
I think they're going to say goaltender interference, or someone was in the crease there.
Absolutely, and I mean, Stahlhuth was, now whether he was pushed in or not, he was in there along with Cusinelli, and they ended up knocking down Romeril, and right away the referee waved that one off.
Yeah, there's a classic case of a goaltender not being given the opportunity to make the play. It must have been considered incidental because there's no penalty on the play. So it must have just been considered incidental contact, and we'll just have a face-off outside of the offensive zone. We're almost halfway home here in the third period. 9:39 gone in the third period. Arizona still with a 5-2 lead over the Maryville Saints, whose their logo, their mascot, is a St. Bernard. I love it.
Oh, okay.
They're the Maryville Saints, and they're the St. Bernards, and they have this great St. Bernard logo, of course, with the barrel, with something good to drink in there.
Hot chocolate.
Some hot chocolate, if you're in St. Louis, for sure. Perhaps if it was in Arizona, St. Bernard, some iced tea.
Yes. Those rare Arizona St. Bernards.
Those Arizona St. Bernards, getting us out of the snow drifts in Tucson.
Well, they need them up around Flagstaff.
Well, yes, I mean, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so
that's right.
It's a northern Arizona St. Bernard.
But for those watching from St. Louis, this is a beautiful, typical winter Tucson, Arizona day, about 75 degrees out.
Oh, it's terrible.
Sunny. It's just a beautiful Tucson, Arizona day. There's an outlet pass that doesn't quite connect there with Damian Carnegie.
And behind the play, Tim, and there's going to be a penalty here, and I don't know if this is going to be 2, 4, or 5.
There's talking, too. There's talking with the bench.
Trevor Henson went down, and he was run into heavy from behind.
I'm not sure if this is 18 or 19. I think this is Justin Plumhoff. It might be 18, though. You see the jerseys wrinkled up there. No, that's Justin. Number 19, Justin Plumhoff. No penalty on him, though.
No, it's actually, I think that was Cam Armstrong that went into the box, oddly enough.
Okay. Boy, I thought Justin Plumhoff was.
Actually, correction, that is Josh Larson that's in the box.
Josh Larson, 2 minutes for boarding. Time with that penalty, 10 minutes, 28 seconds in the third period.
Oh, Langelaire took a big hit up high there against the glass. This is getting very physical there. Boy, that could have been called a high stick, too. Langelaire's okay, though, right back into the play. That's good news. Well, as Maryville comes in offside.
You don't want to see anybody get hurt, Tim.
No.
And that's kind of the key here. But tempers are starting to flare a little bit between these two sides. And I didn't realize that was Larson that actually threw the hit from behind on Henson. But, did that warrant a little bit heavier call, especially if you want to keep control of the game in the last little less than 9 minutes here? Maybe.
Well, that hit on Langelaire, I thought, was high and could have precipitated something else. So let's just hope everyone keeps their heads here. Hockey, a passionate game. As the puck comes in on Bivelsick, he makes a good save. Good vision there by Nolan Bivelsick to get down and see that puck and make sure it doesn't dribble by him. As you know, sometimes the ones that just kind of slowly dribble by can it's like a knuckleball. It can confuse you and just kind of dribble by you.
It's one of those slow motion movie moments when that puck is going past you. You can see just like the no! And you know you're not getting to it in time. You know it's going in, and it's going to look terrible, but it happens.
Now, Tom, you're a former goaltender, or a sometimes goaltender, I'll say, not former, because you still play occasionally. It sounds like you've had that happen to you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Old goaltenders never die. They just smell that way.
That's Timothy Gasson here, along with Tom Callahan, my old broadcast partner. Did a couple years of American Hockey League broadcasts with Tom. He was kind enough to have me on his broadcasts, and I'm so delighted to return the invitation and have Tom sit with me. What a pleasure to have Tom Callahan in the box with us. The puck goes right across the crease and out the near side. Now some hitting coming up
from behind.
Oh, and this is they're going to drop some gloves here. We have whistles. This is Bailey Marshall, and he wants to go.
Well, and Henson's the guy who Larson boarded before. So Henson had a burr under the saddle from getting run into from behind. So not surprised that he's the guy trying to exact a little payback on somebody.
So Bailey Marshall and Trevor Henson getting into it. I thought that Bailey wanted to go. He didn't drop his gloves, though. Now, in college hockey, you don't have to drop your gloves to have a fighting nature called. It's not often called, but you don't have to drop your gloves to have a fighting. But he very consciously didn't drop his gloves because he wants to play in tomorrow's game. That's a smart move by him. He'll go to the box.
Tim, with everybody wearing cages, I don't know why you would drop your gloves.
Well,
to get
I mean,
in a fight.
if you know, I've seen at the college level the guy take his helmet off and drop his gloves as an invitation to his opponent. Take your helmet off and drop your gloves and let's go. But no, you're right. If you still have your helmet on, all you're going to do is break your hand.
Yeah.
But you could see that something was going to come there. Something was brewing there between the two teams, and we'll see if this is just a 2-minute minor.
Well, and Bailey Marshall jumps in there, Tim, because it was his brother Dawson that got run over from behind by Henson. I think at this point, all right, we've got 7:44 left to go in this third period. Now you've got to assert a little bit of control if you're the referee. You got to start maybe dropping a couple misconducts. There's less than 10 minutes to go. Give a guy a 10. It's nothing permanent,
right?
But it takes care of it for the rest of the game. And I understand what Maryville's doing here. They want to be scrappy. They want to fight. They want to compete. UofA is certainly going to stand back up to them. It's not going to get any less tense.
Yes.
For this last 7.
Yeah, no, I agree. This is where good referees take control of things. And
looks like out of all of this, UofA is going to come out with a 1 minute and 47-second power play, Tim.
That doesn't seem exactly right, but no, I think you're right. I think these are going to be offsetting calls.
I think they may be just giving Henson an extra 2 because the initial call was going to be boarding on him.
Right.
So Henson was already getting 2 for boarding, and then maybe they just give Marshall and Henson an additional 2 for roughing, perhaps?
We'll wait for the call here because I think the official scorer is wondering as well exactly if it was 2 and 2. So we'll see, but yeah, you don't want silly stuff to happen near the end of a game, but you could feel a little bit of tensions rising between these clubs, a little bit of liberties from each squad, just a little bit of stuff.
Yeah.
And you can see how that can start to bubble a little bit between squads. I love how scrappy this Maryville team is. They're not a dirty team. They just do not back down against their opponent.
Well, and that's good to see and will benefit them as the program continues to grow. And you know what? Maybe they're going to be a formidable ACHA D1
would they become a D1 team? I think we're going to see them on this. I've got to guess we're going to see them on the schedule. As Anthony Cusinelli takes a big ripper that goes wide. Puck comes back to Cusinelli.
On number 22, Trevor Henson. 2 minutes for checking from behind and 2 minutes for roughing. Wildcat penalty on number 11, Bailey Marshall. 2 minutes for roughing. Time of those penalties, 12 minutes, 16 seconds in the third period.
So there you go. And Larson out of the box, Tim. It's power play now for the Wildcats.
The Cats move it around, and there's a wide open net, and the puck goes wide. Wow, that was an opportunity for goal number 6 for Arizona, but the puck goes wide. Comes out to the blue line. Is it going to come back to Cusinelli up front? There's another wraparound attempt. There's a jam attempt. Boy, the goaltender looked behind him, and he was luckily behind the net. Comes back out to Cusinelli. Does he rip it? He does. Oh, there's a nice save moving over Romerl to gobble that up. You know, I think there's another motivation perhaps for Bailey Marshall, sticking up for his teammates. Bailey Marshall is a transfer from the University of Central Oklahoma. This is his first year with this Wildcats squad, and he's sticking up for his teammates. He's showing, I'm a Wildcat now. And you know the guys on the bench got to love a guy who goes to battle for his teammates.
Well, and I'll tell you what, that's what the mentality needs to be for Arizona over this last couple of minutes of the hockey game. Keep that toughness up. Also behind the play, by the way, Anthony Stavro left the ice doubled over. Looks like he's all right, but took a bit of a shot there on that wraparound attempt, a collision at the side of the net.
Cats moving the puck well here on the power play late in this game. As it comes down low, Westland tries to tip it in, but it's gobbled up by Aaron Romerl. 6:31 to go in the contest. Arizona with the 5-2 lead over the Maryville Saints. They've got to be happy with this two-game series with Arizona. It does not appear they're going to win either game, but they've competed for both games.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know that makes the bus ride back home any easier, but you know, it does help the overall confidence of the hockey club as they, again, growth is the keyword for me with these guys.
Play back on now for the Wildcats power play. About 35 seconds to go on that power play. So Arizona's had good offensive zone time. This is perhaps one of their last opportunities, I think, to do something really skillful as they keep the puck in the zone briefly. Now send it down low. I think they'd like to leave with a good taste in their mouth by performing well on this power play. So far, they've moved the puck well. See if they can get a good shooting lane here. This puck comes up to Manny Rowe at the blue line. Over to the far side, down low. It's going to go back to Rowe. No, it goes down low. Josh Larson is right there. The puck just goes wide. David Langelaire digs for it there. And it's going to come out and now out of the zone.
Well, Tim, I got to tell you, I like Maryville's penalty kill. I thought they were very good. Arizona tried to do some motion, some rotations, and Maryville, communicating well, was able to maintain their box and maintain their coverage pretty well in the PK. I think they've done a nice job tonight.
Yeah, Arizona was able to move the puck, but they really couldn't get that puck into an open area of the ice for a good, clean shot. They're right back down in the offensive zone now, though. Justin Dungy sends it behind the net up the far side. Manny Rowe tries to keep it in there, and there is still some hitting going on. That's Anthony Stavro, who you said looked like he was doubled over, is back on the ice. Good to see him back on the ice and playing. Hockey players are tough guys.
Yes.
They can look like they're near death sometimes when they get to the bench. And luckily, it's not a serious injury and they can get back out there. And that's great to see Stavro back out there.
And sometimes, Tim, it's just like the Black Knight. It's just a flesh wound.
That's right.
Your arm's off.
Your arms have come off. Put me out. I can still kick one in, Coach.
Yes. How about you? Yeah, it's
Bring me a shrubbery.
Yes, hockey players are tough guys.
Wow, that was Matthew Hull just cruising right down
here
the
we
slot.
go.
Now we got some stuff. Again, no, the gloves aren't dropped, but guys are punching at each other behind the net. Here's a Wildcat trying to get out of there, being held by Cole Mundra.
Well, that's Kevin Bird that's tying up for Arizona. And that all started with Dylan Carroll back there behind the net. But again, Tim, this is Maryville, team tough, trying to stick up for themselves here at the end of this hockey game. Looking forward to tomorrow.
Yes.
For U of A.
4 p.m. puck drop against Grand Canyon.
So Grand Canyon's coming in. And one thing that occurs to me is the growth of hockey in the state of Arizona. Tim,
yes.
Especially at the collegiate level. It's very interesting. It's funny, I didn't even realize, but when we did the NHL alumni game, I discovered that there were 2 NAU alumni who played in the National Hockey League, and I didn't know that.
Well,
and we have one of them.
And NAU, Northern Arizona University, used to be an NCAA Division I team, and that was the program that those NHL players came from. They had a a very good NCAA program in Flagstaff that was cut back to the ACHA level because of funding reasons.
Right.
And that's why there were many years before another Division I NCAA team came to Arizona, and that's Arizona State University has a Division I NCAA team. But Arizona State also has 3 ACHA teams. They have a women's ACHA team, a Division II men's, and a Division I men's ACHA Sun Devil team. That's the team that the Arizona Wildcats play. They play the Arizona State ACHA Division I. So Grand Canyon also has an ACHA team in the Phoenix area. So there's 4 ACHA teams.
Doesn't Grand Canyon also
Phoenix.
have a D2 team maybe and a women's team?
They have a D2. They have a women's team too. So there's another ACHA team plus Northern Arizona University, plus the University of Arizona. So the ACHA level of hockey has actually more than 300 teams at their various levels all over the U.S. It's the largest college hockey association in North America. The level of play is getting really, really good. I'd say the top 5 teams.
For Dylan Carroll, 2 minutes for roughing. Wildcat penalty on number 7, Kevin Bird. 2 minutes for slashing, 2 minutes for roughing. All penalties at 15 minutes, 46 seconds in the third period.
I'd say the top teams in the ACHA could certainly compete for a championship in Division III of NCAA hockey. There is no Division II in NCAA hockey. Division III, you just don't have scholarships. And that's really the main difference between Division I hockey and ACHA level hockey. There just are not scholarships. So the level of hockey here can be very good, and when Maryville goes to Division I think they're going to get good very quickly.
Absolutely, and again, it's all positive for hockey in the state of Arizona. It's great to see the game growing, great to see more and more kids picking it up.
Well, and it's great to see, now Wildcat fans, hold on to your hat. It's great to it's great to see Arizona State University's Division I NCAA team be successful. That's good for hockey in the West, and that's why I like to see that. Now, believe me, when Arizona plays Arizona State, in any sport, as Bivelchik makes another save there. In any sport, I want Arizona to win. Don't get me wrong, but we do not play the NCAA Division I Sun Devil team, so I can wish them all the luck in the world.
Well, and Tim, that's the other thing is if you want to see maybe the Wildcats one day be a D1 team, it helps to have that success already in place.
It does, and we just want hockey to grow in the West. We want University of Arizona hockey to be healthy here in Tucson. Maryville is going to get their own building soon. The Arizona Wildcats need their own smaller building to be financially successful. Let's see if that can get done here on the horizon, so we can keep this Maryville Arizona budding rivalry started. Just 2:40 to go in the contest now. Arizona with a 5-2 lead. No scoring in this third period. I didn't know exactly how this period was going to go. It's been scrappy, but no goals.
Well, right now, Maryville on the power play here for the next 13 seconds. Good puck possession.
A nice tip in front that goes wide. Nice play design there by Maryville. But Arizona's able to clear the puck down the zone.
Wanted to mention Kevin Gregory made it back out onto the ice. We saw him limping off earlier towards the end of the second period, but took a couple of shifts here in the third.
Here's a 3-0 for Arizona as they don't connect. Getting a little bit too close in on net. There was no one really in between, and even Anthony Cusinelli, with his speed, was past the net by the time the puck was ready to be shot. Down to the last 2 minutes of the game. Now, stick around because at the conclusion of the game, our Kate Gross will interview Coach Berman and the player of the game at center ice. And then Tom Callahan and I will have our post-game wrap-up here. Now, remember, we drop the puck again, Wildcat fans, tomorrow, 4 p.m., here at the Tucson Arena. It's the number 14 Arizona Wildcats and the Grand Canyon University Antelope. That's 4 p.m. tomorrow. Our broadcast will start at 3:50 to finish off this weekend of hockey at the Tucson Convention Center.
And Tim, UofA is going to have to be alert tomorrow. They're going to have to bring a pretty good game against Grand Canyon. And I don't necessarily say that because of the opponent, but I say that because I'm starting to see a couple of sticks across the knees and guys are a little tired. This game is wearing them down, and they're going to have to go back at it 28 hours later tomorrow. By the time we get done here, it'll actually be 24.
Yeah, and again, that's a quick turnaround for that game tomorrow. with Grand Canyon. I'll be very curious to see what Coach Berman has to say about what he wants to see out of his squad tomorrow and how he analyzes his team's performance in these 2 games against Maryville. I think in some ways it's easier for Coach Hogan to analyze his game. They're a Division II team.
Right.
They're building their program. Arizona's looking to be by the end of the season in that top 10. And it'll be curious to see if Coach Berman thinks these 2 games and the game tomorrow against Grand Canyon help him with that or not.
Well, I think playing tougher opponents and coming out and showing effort and being scrappy, Tim, yeah, that definitely helps your program. And I think that that's a great way to go about building your program. Because when you do come out with a win, or you do hang close with a team that is definitely, better than you are, or on paper is better than you. Yeah, you learn a lot at that point. Right now we've got some words going between Dylan Carroll and Ben Jones, and Jones just backed off to the D spot for the face-off here. But apparently Dylan Carroll is still upset over the way things went down earlier. Remember, he got a couple of penalty minutes out of the deal in that scrap behind the net.
Down to the last 30 seconds of the contest, Arizona leading 5-2. So Arizona's going to improve to 11-3 on the season. The Saints will drop to 4-11. They've played a lot of Division I teams, though, in their inaugural season, taking their lumps to get better, like coming to Tucson. I salute them for that. So we're down to the last few seconds. Let's hope that we don't have another big hit or something silly happen. And we're not going to. This is going to be the horn. And that's it. The University of Arizona Wildcats defeat Maryville by a score of 5-2. Stick around. We'll have our post-game interview and then our post-game report with Tom Callahan.
6, Arizona with 12 for the game. The Saints with 15 shots on goal. The Wildcats with 43 shots on goal. The final score here at the
43 shots on goal for Arizona, 15 for Maryville. I guess that's as much of a capper of the score of the game as anything. 5-2 for Arizona. So I see Kate Gross coming out onto the ice, getting ready for our post-game interview, and then we will have our wrap-up. Then head on over to our Facebook page, Wildcat fans, because we'll have our press conference immediately after our broadcast. That'll take place over on the official Facebook page of Arizona Hockey. And in just a minute, we'll have our post-game interview. So I'm going to send it down to ice level, and we'll wait for Kate Gross to give us our post-game interviews. I want to thank Tom Callahan for providing colorful color. This was like NBC Peacock color in our broadcast here tonight. Full color, 100% color.
100%, Tim. I tried to hit the entire palette, the spectrum. No, it was fun. I enjoyed it, and an enjoyable game here, especially when the hometown boys come out with a win.
Okay, we'll go down to center ice now and Kate Gross, and then we'll come back with our post-game report.
What did you take away from this win today?
Obviously, it's good to win, but the boys need to work a lot harder if we want to have a good result tomorrow. So if we come out firing tomorrow on all cylinders, heavy and hard, we'll be good to go.
All right, thank you so much. All right, now head coach, what do you take away from this win today?
We've got a heck of a lot to work on for sure. I'm frustrated with our competitive maturity. We need to be consistent. I know different ways to make us consistent, and they're not going to like it. So we better, as a man, decide what we want to accomplish. I think we're tired of being ranked 14, so we better commit to every day, and that hasn't happened consistently yet. So I guess some guys will get some opportunities. That's the good news.
All right, thank you very much. Now I'll throw it back up to the booth.
Thank you, Kate. That's Kate Gross at Center Ice. You talked to Charlie James, our player of the game, and then head coach Chad Berman. I'm Timothy Gasson. This is our post-game report, and I'm with Tom Callahan. The Arizona Wildcats defeat the Maryville Saints by a score of 5-2, a Division II program. You know, their nickname are the Saints, and they have a St. Bernard, but we might call that St. Bernard Scrappy. Maybe his name should be Scrappy because they were a scrappy team here this weekend, Thursday and tonight. They didn't come out with a win in either game, but boy, they showed they stuck their nose in there and competed for both games.
Well, it's interesting that that's what Coach Berman hit on, Tim, in the postgame downstairs, as he said, hey, I want our team compete level to be higher, but I'll tell you what, I thought that Maryville, their team compete level is pretty good, and they're a team tough type of club, and yeah, they're building, and there's a lot of freshmen on that roster right now, but down the road, this is going to be a pretty good opponent that's going to be a tough out. And you know what? This is a good series for Arizona, and they're right back at it again tomorrow, Tim, and I think that's great for the Wildcats because they really need to bounce back with a big-time effort, and Coach Berman never satisfied.
Now, we've talked a lot about Maryville because they're a first-year program, and John Hogan, former Wildcat, is their head coach. But let's talk a little bit about the Arizona Wildcats. They start league play again next weekend here at the Tucson Arena, and they're going to have to play better than they did in these two games. Did Arizona get what they need out of these two games to keep getting better as they're going to get into the meat of the rest of their schedule here the first semester?
Well, and again, to harken back to what Coach Berman said, I almost think in his mind they took him a little too lightly, Tim. Perhaps, he doesn't want to see that tomorrow. He wants to see tomorrow be the tune-up because going back into division play, you got to be firing on all cylinders, especially if you want to move up. And so right now for the Wildcats, yeah, it's important to make sure you are doing all those little things and making sure you're doing them right.
So we're right back at it tomorrow at the Tucson Arena, 4 p.m. puck drop between Arizona and Grand Canyon. That's a 4 p.m. puck drop here at the Tucson Arena. Our broadcast will start at 3:50 in the afternoon. Then we'll bring you the game at 4 p.m. Jackson Peters will be back in the broadcast booth with me. I want to thank Tom Callahan for sitting in with us in Arizona Hockey, former NHL voice, worked at every level of hockey, including college hockey. Thank you so much, Tom, for being with us here on Arizona Hockey.
Thanks for letting me be a part of it, Tim. It's a lot of fun. I love it.
I want to thank our entire crew here at Arizona Hockey Media. I'm Timothy Gasson, and I'll be with you tomorrow here, 3:50 for a 4 p.m. puck drop between Arizona and Grand Canyon. Again, Arizona Wildcats, a winner over Maryville by a score of 5-2. We'll see you tomorrow. You've been watching University of Arizona Wildcats Hockey.
Thank you for watching University of Arizona Wildcats Hockey. Visit our website at ArizonaWildcatHockey.org, and we'll see you at the Tucson Arena for the next Arizona Wildcats home game.